If you're listening to this episode of the Empty Netters podcast right now, I imagine that you are a big hockey fan. And if you're a big hockey fan, let me tell you how you can elevate that experience. It's by cracking a fresh LABATT Blue Light. No question about it, the most crisp and refreshing beer in the game right now. And that's because every single pint, can, and bottle is brewed with Canadian kindness. And you know there is no better kindness in the world, just like there's no better beer in the world. So if you're at the game, if you're sitting on your couch, hanging with the buds, grab yourself a LABATT Blue Light and make the game even better, because it is the best beer in the game. Ice is ready, and we are back with another episode of the Empty Netters podcast. CP is taking down a bottle of SoCo to the face, and we also just had a great idea. Blake just said that we should start hitting salts before episodes, and I couldn't agree more.
Me neither, dude. I want salts right now.
We need studio salts.
I'm fired up for Toronto. I'm fired up for this ep, dude.
Yes,
we need
sir.
studio salts.
Oh, yeah.
Big week coming up. We've got 2 games today, 1 game tomorrow, 3 games on Wednesday,
I think that's right.
and then we are officially in All-Star break, but we're already in All-Star break.
Half the
mentally.
league's on All-Star break, dude.
The team is headed out tomorrow to Toronto for NHL All-Star Week. Blake, are you pumped? Going home?
Oh, it is a homecoming for me, that's for sure.
Yeah?
I got the OVO jacket on today.
Hey.
Wow.
To celebrate the homecoming. It'll be my first time going back to Toronto in 5 years, and for a little context, I grew up in Toronto, went to university there, so it'll be surreal. That's
Dude,
for sure.
5 years? That's kind of crazy.
It is. Yeah, it's been too long. I feel bad for not going to see, family and friends, but
So you went back just before COVID.
So I moved. Yes, I went back for university in 2017, and then did 3.5 years there, and then couldn't afford to keep living there, so had to give up my apartment there and move back in with the parents, and still there today.
And now we're getting him.
Yeah.
Dude, but we're getting him back on track. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Are the boys, not to call you out here, dude, but are the boys like, what the fuck, bro? You never come, you never call, you never write? Or are they like pumped to see you?
They've never. My friends have never really said anything directly to be like, dude, what the fuck? Like, come visit us. But I can definitely sense it a little bit.
Oh, you see, you feel some animosity from the squad.
Yeah, and maybe it's just myself putting pressure on myself. I definitely am very excited to see a lot of them.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It'll be wild if we get there and they show up and they're like, fuck you.
Dude, we show up for the dinner res on Tuesday, and they actually just fucking toss one in his face and bounce
and just
stiff us with the bill. And I'm like, the fuck?
That'd be wild.
Thanks, Blakey.
That would be wild. I'm really psyched. We threw up a couple fun stories over the last few days. I was driving the other day and thought to myself, I don't know what the food is in Toronto. Now, obviously, I could have asked Blake, but I wanted to crowdsource it. Blake, what would you say is the food? Because I got a lot of bacon sandwiches.
Yeah, okay. Well, okay, so I grew up eating this really weird sandwich, and maybe it's like a Canadian thing, but bacon and peanut butter sandwiches.
Oh, bro, those are fucking
Wait,
gas.
do you mean Canadian bacon or do you mean...
No, real bacon.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, dude, crispy bacon and PB sandwiches
Okay,
are
it's
gas.
Okay, yeah.
Dude.
But a lot of people were like, you got to get a bacon sandwich. There's something else in there. I'll look at it.
I know that there's one Canadian bacon sandwich at St. Lawrence Market.
Okay.
That a lot of people hype up, and it's a big, it's like a market kind of thing.
My big thing was I don't want specific places. I don't want you to tell me to go to a restaurant. I was like, what is the food?
Oh,
Because you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
I said, I was like, if I go to Montreal, a lot of people are like, get poutine. You go to Boston, clam chowder, lobster, shit like that. So I was like, what is the thing?
Toronto doesn't really have to me personally, I'm not like, oh, it's got this one thing. Toronto's so multicultural.
It's crazy.
It's so multicultural.
I think it's one of, if not the most international cities
Yeah.
in North and South America.
It's crazy. And so you can really find any kind of food and quality of that specific kind of food. So I don't know. It's got a bit of everything.
There's a huge Asian population, right? Or am I making that up?
Massive.
So there must
And
be
Middle
great
Eastern
Asian
I've
food.
also, someone
Yeah.
told me that there's unbelievable Caribbean food there.
Caribbean food.
And I'm like, dude, get me some
Indian
jerk
food.
chicken and I'm fucking
Get PK up in here. dude.
fired. Seriously,
He'll
PK.
be fired
Actually,
up.
we should text him because he's
Yeah.
definitely going to want to
like,
get
dude.
some jerk chicken over there.
Yeah. There's a couple restaurants that I have in mind, but you know, like I said, like it's not like there's one specific food that you're like, oh, we're in Toronto, we're getting this. It's like you can get really anything there.
The top one for me, I gotta find it. We got some great nods, but I was told, yes, here we go. Did you mention St. Lawrence Market earlier?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Friend of the pod sent me a message, said go to St. Lawrence Market, ground floor, and get the Betts chicken parm sandwich.
Oh, shit.
And I'm a huge chicken parm guy, big chicken parm sando guy.
Me too.
So I'm going there immediately. I might go there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like
when we land,
seriously,
before the hotel.
When we land, no, like let's go to the hotel, and I might be like, let's get in the mixer.
Little
go right to St. Lawrence
app, dude.
Give me a pre-dinner chicken parm sando. Warm up the stomach for dinner with a chicken parm sando. I'm into that.
We could, yeah. Like, what time we land at? What, 3:30?
3:30,
So,
I think.
I mean, we'll get
So
to
we'll
the
probably be out of
hotel.
Pearson by like 7 p.m.
Yeah, sounds about right. No, we should be at the hotel. I hopefully by like 5.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be tight, dude.
Customs usually doesn't give you too hard of a time nowadays.
And we've got
so-
nothing tomorrow
Not
night,
Americans,
so
dude.
we're just gonna.
American. They love Americans.
I can't wait. I just want to. I want to leave. I mean, I've spent a lot of time in Toronto.
Yeah.
Not a lot of time. Good amount of time. I want to leave this week with and this is blasphemous for me, with a Leafs hat and a whole bunch of love for the city of Toronto and the people of Toronto in my heart. That's what I really want.
I want to leave with a Austin Matthews tattoo. I want to have Austin Matthews.
What? Hold on.
Tattooed.
So just for reference, CP and I think you too, Blake. I'm not sure. Do you have any tats?
No.
Yeah. Zero tat boys.
Tatless.
We're a tatless crew here. What circumstances would have to happen for you to actually get an Austin Matthews tattoo?
This weekend?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. Because in my mind, it would have to be like Austin himself
Yeah.
was ripping it with you, and you guys were just, in the shit, having a wild night, and he was like, "Get a tattoo of me right now."
I think, and it would be up to me how big and
Yeah.
I think that there's two circumstances.
You could just get like an AM34.
That's
you
what
could
I'm
even
saying.
do like Roman numerals too. To
I
make
think
it not as absurd.
there's two circumstances. Circumstance one is I get offered an amount of money.
Yeah.
Like someone was like, I'll give you X amount of money, and I'll figure out what that number is. But like, I'll give you this amount of money to get a tattoo. I'd be like, okay, yeah, fuck.
Ballpark. What is that amount of money?
Because I have my answer, and you guys you're gonna scoff at me when I tell you.
Dan's gonna say like $1 million, dude.
Go ahead, Dan.
I'm being dead serious.
It's full of shit, dude.
I'm being dead serious. My answer to get a tattoo is the cost of said tattoo.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
$500,000.
Oh, okay, better than I thought.
I truly that is how much.
Even if
money-
you got to pick where it was, if
Yep.
you got to get an AM34 somewhere,
yeah.
500. I mean, like I would obviously take 500, but I think I would probably go like 50. Like if someone's like, "Here's $50,000 cash," I'd be like, and I can get like an AM34
I just
like
think
under my watch
100%.
band or something. I'm like, yeah, sure, dude.
I appreciate the clean canvas that is my body,
I get it on my foot, dude.
and you are both kidding yourselves if
Maybe
you're
less.
not
I'll do it
acknowledging
for less, dude.
how fast 50K is gone.
I know, but it would go towards
no,
something.
that
Yeah,
would be a bummer though. It would be a
about it.
bummer if you did that and then in 2 months that 50K is gone and you're like, I got this tattoo forever. Like I want that 500K.
I also love Austin Matthews, so I wouldn't even be that mad about it. Okay, but scenario 2 is this.
Also, I just want to say real quick, I kind of mentioned it offhand. If it's not a logo already, I feel like AM Roman numerals 3-4 it would be like
Yeah,
sick
but
on a hat.
Isn't like 3 is 3 bars, and then 4 is another bar, and like it's just
Yeah.
a lot. I think it's
But
wide.
I think that still looks sick. Like if you did AM and then
pretty
like
wide.
a little dot.
What's that
or like
term, dude?
a
Do you know what that
dash.
term is? So there's a term in fonts that's how far the letters are apart.
Oh, that shows.
yeah.
Like it
Fuck, I used to know
designates
this.
a
It's like
new
it's
thing.
a crazy word. I'm gonna fucking look this up.
Look that up.
But it's like if
But
you
that
did
might look
AM
sick.
with the wide that.
Yeah.
So then the 3, 4.
I'm gonna type it out right now and see what it looks like. But I think if that's not on a hat already or something, he needs to figure that out.
I tell you what, if we are in one and AM34 is around us, I will get that same tattoo with you.
So,
CP.
look at that. Hold on.
Kerning. It's kerning. Kerning.
Kerning
Yeah.
is the amount
Yep.
of spaces
Yep.
between things.
It's the amount of spacing between a letter.
So
yeah.
if we get, is it a
Wide-
kern or a kerning? Or is kerning?
What is kerning? Kerning is the spacing between individual letters or
Okay.
characters in a font.
I'm just saying, look at that. That looks pretty sick.
Yeah, okay. So, dude, I heard you. That scenario 2 is that, and you brought it up, great call. If the Thursday before skills, we are out till sunrise with Matthews, and like it's like the 4 of us, and just having a fucking time of our lives, and he's like, dude, we got to commemorate this. I would be like, hell yes, dude.
Okay. I'm in.
Like a hell yeah.
If we are all out with Austin
And it's just like the most bananas night. He's just like bankrolling everything.
and he
it's
brings this up
chaos.
and he's like this, I'll pay for the tattoos too. I won't get AM34, but I will get 34 tattooed on my body.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, imagine if Bieber is the one doing it.
yeah. Bieber does it.
Bieber.
What a scenario we have created
Holy
here.
shit, dude.
Yeah, I'll
Bieber's
get-
going to tattoo my body this
I will
weekend.
happily get 34 tattooed to my body if we're ripping it with Austin, and that's where the night takes us.
Okay.
Oh, boys.
Teamsmanship on 3.
1, 2, 3.
Teamsmanship.
Austin.
Austin.
Deal. Sick deal. But anyway, yeah, we're headed to All-Star. I'm absolutely fired up. I think this is going to be a wild, wild, and fun week.
Dan, Blake asked me this earlier. Who do you think's going to have of the players is going to have the most fun this week?
Nylander. I just don't even.
Ooh, that is a good.
I
pick.
just don't even think. I mean, this season has been Willie's coming out party in every single way.
Yep.
He is just a dominant force. He just signed the fattest ticket of all time. He 69 guaranteed. Nice.
Nice.
He's an all-star. He's doing it all. I think he is going to be the king of the castle. He's going to be crowned in Toronto this weekend.
Okay, here's my counter. It's his home. Like he's not on. You go away, you can go nuts because you're like, whatever, dude. I'm gonna come back. Like no one knows. I'll do whatever I want here. I fear that if he runs rampant around Toronto,
No.
and then just wakes up on next Monday, and they're like, "Hey, bro, that was out of pocket." and
I
you're
hear you,
fucking,
but
you lost your mind. I have 2 other options. But
I
keep
think
going.
it's because think about when you have someone visit your hometown. You go,
Okay,
you're the belle of the ball.
Yeah, you got to show you're the mayor.
You want to show them everything, and he's an all-star this year. Like
First
he's got his
timer.
boy Pasta coming into town.
Yep.
He wants to show everyone everything. There's no question about it. I think he's going to be
Okay,
on his A game.
good counter.
Go.
No, that was good counter by
Okay,
you.
yeah.
My 2 that came to mind. 1, Brady Tkachuk. Brady Tkachuk has the best time of his fucking life
No,
everywhere he's ever gone.
I think Brady's going to have fun as always, but I think Brady is a captain. He's a businessman. The Sens are not doing well. I think he is like, dude, I'm not going to send
Dude,
it.
I don't think they were doing that well by last All-Star.
But they didn't have these expectations.
Fair. 2, Frank Vetrano. First time All-Star Boston boy.
New dad needs to blow off
Dude,
steam.
Knew that. Like that boy is going to be going
Needs
off
to blow off
in
steam.
Toronto, dude. I guarantee it. I want to meet him so
I
bad.
don't want to put anyone on blast because I know that we are going to be directly responsible for some of this
I know.
fun.
Don't even do it, dude.
I think
so.
Pasternak. The guy is so it's gonna be his 4th All-Star game.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be so comfortable. He's gonna be like, yeah, this is just another weekend.
And he's with Willie, dude.
Yeah, he's with
his boy. And I just said Willie's going to be going crazy, but you're close to my pick.
Pass is also the villain in Toronto, and I think he likes playing that card. So he's gonna be like, I don't give a fuck,
Dude, it's Sway.
Sway.
Swayman is going to
Sway
pop off.
man.
Like he is finally getting recognized as the all-star that he is. He's with us.
Dude, also
it's going to be nuts.
Papa Sway's coming. I don't know if he told you that
Yeah,
yet.
oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so it's going to be a family affair.
By the way, I pulled some strings, boys. I'm not going to say it on the pod, but I pulled some strings with some contacts, and I got us a really, really, really fun setup for Friday night.
Great.
So
Where are we going? What do you know the name of the establishment?
I sure do.
Is it a surprise?
Yeah.
Or it's off the air. It's an off
It'll
the
be
air
an
combo.
off-the-air surprise,
Awesome.
but it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get some goaltending tips from Jeremy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, well, unfortunately, Sway just says stop the puck. Like, Sway's whole
Stop
mentality,
the
he's
puck.
like, yeah, dude, just dive in front of it. Just stop
Dude,
the puck.
can I put Blake on blast real quick?
Yeah.
We need a goaltender in beer league, and you don't like playing goalie anymore. You could save us.
That's not true. I still like playing goalie. It just fucking hurts.
Yeah, I believe that.
For some
Is
context,
it knees or hips for you?
it's the hips. So for context, and I don't know if I've told you guys this. So about 2.5 years ago in 2021, I had a double hip surgery.
Great.
Great.
So it was literally just
Trying to ruin his life.
Just from being a goalie over the years, and they might have been fucked up for the 2 years prior to that, and just didn't really have the information to get the surgery. But so had one hip done, then 2 weeks later got the other one done. I mean, I was skating and back fully functional in 6 months, and still play goalie here and there. It just hurts more than it did. But I still have the itch. Like, we played in a men's league game last night. And I still watch the goalies in warm-ups, and I'm like, fuck, I do miss
trash.
Yeah. He's fucking garbage. I could have made that save.
Yeah.
No, I definitely would. Hey, you give me a call, I'll be there.
Was it hurting you to play goalie more pre-surgery? Like, I feel like the surgery usually relieves the pain.
So yeah, when I was pre-surgery, it hurt to play. But when you're playing, you get that adrenaline, and like it kind of just kicks in, and you don't notice it when you're playing. And like when I was in junior, I would get out of the game and get on the bus. And you get on the bus, and you're on the bus for like an hour, 3 hours. That was the worst, because you're sitting there and your hip just gets locked. In that sitting position. So it was always pre-surgery. Was always it hurt right after playing, and like those days or weeks after. And I'd say post-surgery, it still somewhat hurts that way, but it's like it's a different kind of pain, and it's more just like it's not as easy to move those hips as what it once was. But hey, you give me a call, I'll stop the puck.
Yeah, dude. Blake wants to go for walks with his kids someday, and Dan's like, "We need a tendy, dude." Fuck you.
On that topic, I wanna make another apology. Remember last episode we were talking about fan etiquette, and I talked about sewering that BYU basketball player.
Oh yeah, dude, this is so funny.
So we got a DM.
No way.
And lovely person in the DMs was like, "Dude, really funny story about you chirping the BYU kid." He was like, "I went to BYU. His name's Nick Emery, a great basketball player, and he has a medical condition, which is why he wears full sleeves on arms and legs." So I would like to take this opportunity to apologize to Nick Emery because what a scumbag I am.
Dude, I was so mad.
I didn't know.
How many years later?
Oh, dude, this is a long time ago.
This must be almost 6 years later.
Easily.
Oh,
I can't find it right now. I have a pic.
But I feel terrible. I'm just truly sending my deepest apologies to Nick.
Yep.
And also deepest respect to him for being unfazed.
Yeah.
By,
He's a bucket,
like,
dude.
He's like, "I'm a bucket, dude. Fuck you."
Yep.
He could have turned to me and been like, "I have a medical condition." I would have been laughed out of that arena, but he let me live.
They politely asked you to move.
Yes.
Just to wrap up the All-Star weekend ahead, what else do we got going on, fellas? Any other things we want to highlight?
Man, of course we've got. Does everyone know Gretzky's Basement?
Yeah.
Gretzky's Basement thing popping off. We're gonna do a pod there. We're gonna record a lot of stuff there. Hopefully.
Yep.
CCM skate.
That's
Wednesday
night. Yep.
NHL influencer skate.
And Hockey Hall of Fame tour. We're going to be doing some fun accuracy and breakaway competition, fun stuff. It's going to be goofy. It's going to be silly. It's going to be awesome.
And then, of course, as you guys all know now, thank you for all your guesses and everything. Keep eyes on the page for more posts about this. The Legends Roundtable on Friday.
BetMGM Legends Roundtable event. It's going to be a sort of Hollywood roundtable vibe hosted by your boys. We're going to be hanging out with Ray Bork, our guy Chris Chelios, and Toronto legend Wendell Clark. It's going to be a all-time event. Live.
It's going to be legendary.
Yes.
I do say so myself.
Yes. Cannot wait. So keep eyes on the page. We're going to be doing so much stuff this week. If you're in Toronto, follow along. You'll be able to see where we are every step of the way. We want to meet you. We want to crack some beers, have some laughs. So come up and say what's up. Let's get into No Buckie.
Boom.
We got to jump into this episode. We got a lot to cover. No Buckie warm up. What do we got up first?
Okay, I want to talk about this really fast. BR Open Ice posted this. You guys all saw it, but it was the cover page was players on pace to smash career highs. Pretty cool post, pretty cool carousel. Very cool carousel, I should say. I'm going to read you some of them. I'll read you all of them, but I'm going to land on the one I wanted to aim at. Willie, and this is when the stats I'm about to give are when this was posted. I'm sure they're slightly off now.
Sure.
Willie Nylander, 61 points at time of posting. Previous career high, 87. Going to go way over.
Way over.
Barring any disasters, obviously. Carter Verhaeghe, 50 points. Previous career high, 73. Monster year for Verhaeghe. Quinn Hughes, 62 points. Previous career high, 76.
Smashed.
Monster, dude. He's going to have a monster.
It's going to be crazy when Quinn Hughes gets over 100 points this year after Carlson got 101, I think, last year, and it blew everyone's mind. And
like,
Quinn
oh my
is
God.
just going to do it immediately.
Zach Hyman, 30 goals. Previous career high, 36. Preposterous.
That one's preposterous.
Yep.
Zach Hyman has stuffed a lot of people in a locker this year.
Sam Reinert, 37 goals at time of posting. Previous career high, 33. Like, already well past that.
Yeah, can you believe
He's
that?
going to score 60 goals, dude.
He's already passed his career high. And is a great player.
Yeah.
Because he had something like 73 points last year too, right?
I think so, yeah. 20 power play goals, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. You know what? I don't want to get off the rails here, but I always hate when, Reinert's having this unbelievable year, 37 goals, and people go, power play specialist, dude.
Yeah.
Because I'm always like, power play goals are important.
And he scores them.
If he wasn't scoring those goals, their power play would be much less effective than it is. So that's something to celebrate. He's scoring tons of goals. It's amazing.
It's sick. Sam Reinert, I did. Brock Besser, 30 goals.
Hell yeah, Brocky's back.
Previous career high, 29. Already passed it.
Brocky's back.
So it's sick stuff. And there's a few more they didn't even list, but this is the one I wanted to bring up because I just
couldn't believe it.
And all of those are pretty.
This one blow your.
Did any of those shock you that I read?
I mean, not Brock. I said at the beginning of the season, I said this. I said Brock is back this year. He's going to be right back to the elite all-star level that he is. Hyman is kind of shocking.
Yep.
I'm not surprised that Hyman's having a good year, but wow, is he having a good year?
Yep.
I think Reinert.
Yeah.
Actually, the two that I don't like the word shocking because all these guys are elite players. Reinert being a dominant goal scorer is like, whoa. And then Quinn Hughes being on pace for like 115 points is
pretty crazy.
That's insane.
So, and sorry, I phrased that. Everything you just said is completely correct, and I agree with. I phrased it poorly. I meant, were any of the previous career highs? Like, for example, I hear Carter Verhaeghe, he's going to shatter it. He's at 50 points already. Previous career high, I'm 73. I'm like, yeah. Like, I wouldn't have been, if you would ask me to guess his previous career high, I'm like, yeah, it was probably 70 something, maybe 8, you know, whatever. Willie's previous career high was 87. And I think in my head, I kind of forgot. And that was last year, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I think I thought he was like 100 guy. I just kind of forgot. I was like, oh, yeah.
We've just talked about him so much that I know his...
And 87's a sick year, don't get me wrong. I was just like, oh, whatever. But this one, dude, I haven't read this to you. Breadman.
Panarin.
30 goals so far this year. Going to shatter his previous career high of 32. Like, in my mind, Panarin, I'm like, he's certainly had a 40-goal season.
Oh, no way.
Like that.
Wait, is Panarin already at 30 goals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I would. Panarin's a pass guy.
I know, but his first 2 years, he went 32, 30. Like, I was like, oh, yeah, as an 18-year-old, you're tucking 32 goals.
Yeah.
Like, certainly you've beaten your 18-year-old mark. And he was like, no.
Patty Kane.
I know, but
Exactly.
like, holy fuck, dude.
Two
No,
passers are just...
I don't think I'm surprised by that one, but, I mean...
He's going to score 50 this year.
Yeah, maybe.
So everyone's like, he's a pass guy. And I'm like, we scored 50 goals. So
He might score 50. He also might score 40.
yeah.
I mean,
Let's score 35.
Yeah. No, come on.
When I look at this list, I'm most surprised by Verhaeghe.
Oh, okay.
That guy came out of nowhere.
Because he's doing so well, that part of it, you're surprised? Yeah, not the
What
previous.
do you mean, dude? He left the shit show that is Toronto and then
I
became the
know.
player that he can always be.
And he was a
insane.
fucking killer
No.
in the playoffs last year, dude.
Murdering you guys.
Oh, my God.
Not he left. The Leafs fucking
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. He got booted hard.
And with Hyman, like I look at that list and I'm like, Hyman and Verhaeghe could be Toronto Maple Leafs today.
Yeah.
Doing all of that for the Leafs. Like Hyman, I don't know
Yes.
what the Leafs were thinking.
They could be Leafs if they played for vet minimum because unfortunately half of your salary cap goes to four players.
On that topic, what got Reiner to the off the Sabres?
I think the Sabres didn't want to extend him, and I think what was the trade? I'll pull it up.
Yeah, pull that up.
Because that's a bummer.
Oh, that's a
Like, look at that Florida team, dude. Like,
Someone
Reiner,
asked-
Verhaeghe, Kachuk.
yeah.
I'm like, dude, they were just like, gimme.
Yeah,
We're fucking
truly.
nasty now. And I was
Yeah.
like, Jesus Christ.
Sasha Barkov every day is like this great pickups, boys. Great pickups.
So in 2021 July, Buffalo Sabres traded Sam Reiner to Florida for Devin Levi and a first-round pick who ended up being Yuri Kulich, who just lit up the World Juniors. So, and that Levi trade was coming off his impressive World Junior performance.
Okay.
So
maybe it's certainly if Levi, and I know he's been better after that start, but like certainly if Levi pans out, that's a
And then
win-win.
Kulich could be a big
I think that's a
player.
win-win.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what? Someone was. We're getting. I don't want to. That would have been a whole new discussion. I almost just launched us into Sabres talk, and I'm glad.
Settle
I'm
down,
glad
settle
I
down.
pulled up. I'm glad I pulled up.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
yeah,
I thought you were
keep
going to keep going. Okay, so some boys are firing this year. It's pretty exciting. to
Yes,
see.
absolutely.
Next one I have, Saturday night game. Have I showed you this tweet yet? This video? I mean, I'm sure you saw it, but okay. Red Wings go up 2-0 against Vegas. They blow a 2-goal lead, go up 3-2 in the third. And that do you have this? Can you put this on the screen?
I know exactly.
I just want to watch it again. Rasmussen slides ones over to Kopp. Fisher crashed in the net.
Fish with one of the great snow jobs you will ever see.
Snow job, dude.
An in-game play.
If you have the doc,
An in-game
it's
play
on that
snow
too.
job.
Like the I don't know if you do, but yeah.
the doc's on my laptop, unfortunately.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, but
Here, I'll text it to you. Or
Yeah.
what do you? It doesn't matter. Dan's seen it.
Yeah.
The dude, it doesn't. You can't quite tell how bad it gets him from the angle. Like I can't tell if he's truly been blinded.
I think he has been whitewashed to the point of not being able to see a damn thing.
So I have 2 questions. Question 1. Actually, I have 3 questions. How fucking sick was that? Is question 1.
10 out of 10.
Question 2 is
any of this all legal?
is any of this legal?
imagine if they called goalie interference.
But dude, could they? I'm genuinely asking. Like, could you have been like, that is blatant goalie interference? Dude.
So if you watch the play, like he comes over and that glove doesn't move until that puck is in the net.
Yeah.
like he is just there blocking.
he's blinded.
Like,
Yeah.
I hope
What
I
I
save
didn't
it.
see in the I was watching it live, and what I also didn't see in the replay is, does Thompson turn to the ref like, what the fuck?
I didn't see that.
Because I didn't either. I wonder if we have the Sean Avery call where you can't wave a stick in a goalie's face. This feels like you shouldn't be able to do either.
Agree. And well, my third question was going to be, as a goalie, what do you think about the play? Are you like, fuck this?
Oh, this has happened so many times.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Every 3-on-2 nowadays, you're coached. Puck carrier has the puck, obviously. Center guy, drive the net, put back the D up.
Yep.
So that guy, if he's doing it properly, he's going to stop right at the top of the crease or right at the side of the net. And if he's a good skater or fast, like that's going to create a lot of snow. So it has happened multiple times to me. And I remember a time where a guy came in, sprayed me, and literally the snow is all over my face, and the guy just went around me and tucked it in. And I literally had to wait for the snow to just kind of melt off my eyes.
Yeah.
It literally felt like I had shards of ice in my
dude.
eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Not the cleanest snow.
I mean,
either.
also it doesn't help that I'm 5'9", 5'10" on a good day.
But there's you could freeze frame that clip, and you can't even see Logan Thompson's face.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is, and you just said it, Blake, is that, and whoever plays that's listening knows, but like that was textbook Fisher's job. Like it's crash
100%.
the fucking net and stop there, because if you blow by it and then there's a rebound, you're fucking benched. For
And
life.
you blow by it and you are getting sent to the fucking locker room.
Yeah.
Or you blow through Logan Thompson and we have a bench clearing brawl, or you do what he did.
So and the unlucky part, it felt like, and correct me if I'm wrong, is, and I know only the YouTube fans are following me here, but it's like Logan's here on Rasmussen, right? And the pass goes this way. So like theoretically, if Fisher stops real hard right here, you're kind of taking it on the side of the face. Like as he's coming across to the pass, he caught it so, like the timing was so unlucky that he was like coming across and it was like,
oh dude, it was
like
full on.
if it hits either side of your face, it's annoying, but you're fine. Like,
it was a
doesn't
facial.
blind you.
It was a
It's literally
full
like
facial.
It's a snow bukkake.
Yeah, so it was a timing thing.
The true snow bukkake facial right to the grill. nothing you can do about it either. And you can't outlaw this because it'd be so hard to police.
Exactly. That was my next
It
point.
changes
Imagine
the
if
game.
they did, and you had Wes
Yeah.
McCauley going to make those calls at center ice. 2
Facial.
minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes for a
No
facial.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Like you can't, but and some of the comments on the tweet. So if we all are in agreement that it was the correct play by Fisher, and we're all in agreement that you can't really outlaw this.
Can't.
I'm like, people should be doing this more. Like you should.
No, because it's if you had teams being like, this is in our playbook.
Yeah.
This falls in the scumbag category. If
Yeah.
you're a forward who's crashing the net and you're like, my number one priority here is to
Spray
snow
him.
the goalie. First of all, you're going to get out of your gameplay. You're going to miss passes across the crease because that's what your first thought is. It should just be, if that's the play, that's the play. But no, this should not be incorporated into strategy. That's scumbag territory.
I have another tangent question. I'm just thinking about this right now because as you were talking, I literally was like fantasizing about like windshield wipers on goalies' masks. Like, how do we combat this? But how come? And I think I know the answer because it's like a bubble fogs up more than a visor, and they both fog up, but like a bubble fogs up a little bit more than a visor. But I'm like, I can't believe goalie masks never went to like a visor type thing. Like I know cat eyes are good and whatever you can see, but I'm like, theoretically you must be able to see better if it was a fucking visor than whatever cage it was ever going to be. That's it. I'm just surprised that never happened.
I think
maybe?
if you think about it, like if you have a shield and you're taking pucks
Yeah, like,
off,
That's
there,
going to
What
shatter.
if-
but obviously you're going to manufacture it to be,
Yeah,
But
certainly
think about,
that would be
so
very
think about the
doable.
football helmet that Patrick Mahomes was wearing that got cracked
Yeah.
because of the cold conditions.
Yeah.
So imagine you're just in an outdoor game and a goalie takes a 1T from Ovechkin off between
Yeah.
the eyes and a piece of that visor goes into his
Right,
face.
like
Yeah,
even if it
insane.
happened one
Or-
in a million, it wouldn't be worth the one
Simply
in a
scuff
million.
marks, too. If a puck hits that and it doesn't break, you probably have a puck mark on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's insane.
fair. Because like I was like they can change them out every.
Also,
fucking
that
period.
Patrick Mahomes helmet was pre-cracked, and they did it for a dramatic effect. I'm sure
Fraud.
of it. Everything about that fucking
That was in the
clown
script?
Is yeah,
Script.
Yeah, that's all in the
Script.
script. It's just all
God, I
fucking bullshit Hollywood
fucking
nonsense.
hate the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh,
Same.
they're insufferable.
But anyway, dude, spray more goalies. And fucking like I'm gonna be doing like I'm kind of surprised though because the fucked up part is if I did that in men's league, even though that's the right play, like if I crashed the net on a 3-on-2 and fucking sprayed the shit out of that dude and we got backdoor goal, it's a fight in men's league. It's a fucking fight.
No,
Yes,
it's not, dude.
Oh my god, dude!
What are you talking about? Fights in men's league
Or sorry,
are
not
rare.
like a drop the gloves fight, but like people.
Oh,
there's
people
a
would
massive
bitch.
shoving
People would
match
bitch.
after I sprayed.
I don't
the
think
goalie
I
on
don't think there's
3-on-2.
even that. I think it's just people would bitch.
Imagine.
People would be like, he
spraying
sprayed
Nordell.
the goalie,
Imagine spraying Nordell on a 3-on-2.
and we scored.
Yeah, and he gets up and puts his blocker through your fucking jawbone.
He wouldn't do it. Dude. You're being dramatic.
No,
you are
that's
being
true.
dramatic right
That's true. That's
No.
100% true. I'm gonna pull the team after this, and I will win.
A fight in beer league impossibly rare, and you think on a clean goal a fight would break out?
There was a full-on fight in my beer league game last night.
Really?
Like just
drop the gloves,
guy on my
square
team. Shout out Bill if you're listening. I think he listens. And shout out Tony, by the way. The smelling salts topic. He brings smelling salts to every game. And those late night games, you
Huge.
crack one
It's
of
clutch,
those.
dude.
I mean, it's fucking makes it impossible to fall asleep later. But whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Bill. I think it was an altercation at one end, and the play came up the ice, and I guess the guy on their team gave him a nice cross check in the back and a hack in the back of the legs.
Automatic ejection, as we know.
Then it wasn't hard at all, and then it came back to our end, and I guess it continued, and then the guy on their team sucker punched our guy who wasn't wearing a visor or a cage. Their guy was wearing a cage, and our guy was like, "Yep, green light." Sheds the gloves, yanks this guy's cage off. Like literally yanks it off and then punches it off. And this whole time the other guy keeps his gloves on, and our guy still like just feeds him, and he's leaking from his jaw and his mouth. And I mean, granted, the bottom line, fights in men's league just should not be happening.
insane.
Can't
It
happen,
is
dude.
insane.
It's absolutely insane.
But it was also hilarious to watch.
Yeah.
And just like a textbook fight. Like it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
But also the one thing that pissed me off is the refs did absolutely nothing. Like they
Yeah,
did
dude,
not
they don't want a
make
part of that
any
shit.
But I mean, that could have been broken up
Yeah.
at the other end.
Yeah.
Or you could have seen that developing and said something to them before that sucker punch happened.
But if you don't get in early, though,
yeah.
then they're like,
But that's
dude, I'm
why
not
it pisses
catching
me
a
off,
stray
man.
in
You
here.
know
dude.
what? I've always thought about that, and for me, there's two schools of thought. If it's a slow brewing one, get in there, break it up. If you're a beer league ref and two guys snap, the wires cross, and they just start going at it, I can see 2 points of view. One being, I don't want to get in the crosshairs here. Like,
Agree.
Go for it. The other, and this would be my mindset if I were the ref, if you are such a needle dick that you need to fight in beer league and get yourself banned from the league, I would let it happen.
That's what I'm saying. Fucking
I'd go like
punch
this.
it out,
If
you
you're
fucking
so
losers.
fucking dumb
Yep.
and insecure that you need to drop the mitts in beer league, I would sit back and grab popcorn and watch it happen and go like this. Well, you're gone. You'll never play in this league again. Hope it was worth it. I'll gladly collect all of your season dues and watch you waltz your way out of this arena, you pigeon. That is exactly how I would feel.
Yeah, I was on the ice. I was literally right next to it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck, please don't have a third man in from their team and everyone has to jump in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
I ain't got to be on
We
camera.
got a podcast
now.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Fuck.
It's
We have to start throwing on a bird cage, actually.
Yeah. The one tough thing is if it's a important player on your team getting in it, as his teammate, I would want to jump in to be like, you can't get kicked out for the season, dude.
Yeah.
We're low on bodies.
Yeah.
All the
dude,
time.
that's the most involved I've ever been in any beer league scruff is when it's one of my buddies who's good. I'm like, hey, I literally like spear him out. I'm like, stop it.
All right, we got to move on from the goalie spray.
Yep.
Let's talk about players by state.
Okay.
Fun little crowdsourced.
Okay,
situation
so
here.
listener Tom Olson
Yeah, shout out
had
Tommy
a
O.
great idea,
Yes.
really an inspired idea, to figure out what the all-time starting lineup would be
State by state.
state by state. Now,
Did you do some work?
I did a little work, yeah. We're not going to do every state because some states are irrelevant, and we're not going to do it every week, but I was like, oh, this is a cool thing.
Louisiana, Mason Lori,
Yeah.
nothing else.
Yeah. And there's going to be some heaters, right? Like Minnesota, Massachusetts, like there'll be some big ones coming through.
Yep.
But I wanted to do California first because this was such a cool idea from Tom Olson.
Yep.
And we're in California here, so I was like, let's just rip this one.
Knee jerk. Who do you think's which lineup do you think is better? Team Massachusetts or Team Minnesota?
Massachusetts.
I love that.
I think.
And it's all time, by the way. Like, we're not talking like players in the
boo,
league right
that's
now.
lame. Should be right now.
No, it's all time.
Should be right now. I think Team New York would be pretty savage too. Team New York's defense has McAvoy and Fox pairing up together.
Yeah, New York would be elite. I'm trying to think. What is the other one?
Michigan's probably
yes,
solid.
sorry, Michigan. Even Florida now.
Florida might be pretty
might be
solid.
pretty decent.
Yeah. All right. Hit
Okay,
us.
and the rules are, by the way, I made these rules, but it's the only way to do it fair, where they were born.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
if they were born
100%.
somewhere and then grew up,
No, 100%.
like immediately at age 2 months, but I'm like, you were born here. So at center, Austin Matthews, bang, born in California. Bang. Thank you very much.
Hell yeah.
Okay, at wing, here are the ones that are locked in for sure for me.
'Kay.
Center, Austin Matthews. At wing, Jason Robertson.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
At goalie, Thatcher Demko.
Hell yeah.
California looking tough right now,
Yeah.
dude. So then, at the other wing, I think you're either going Jason Zucker, who played 665 games, had 355 points,
It's got to be Morsey.
or our boy Trevor Moore, 308 games, 151 points.
Morsey.
Boom, Trevor Moore. So Austin Matthews, Morsey, Jason Robertson. Thatcher Demko at goalie. At D, Brooks Orpik.
Fuck yeah.
And then either Lee Norwood, who played 503 games with 211 points, or Cam York, 21 years old, 136 games so far, 47 points. I don't hate Cam out there.
I love Cam out there.
Yeah.
Love
Get some
Cam.
youth playing with Orpik
Brooks
too.
Orpik, veteran. Brooks Orpik and Cam, Morsey, Matthews, Jason Robertson, Thatcher Demko.
Shockingly good
Cali
California
team.
lineup. However, I think Austin will have some gripes there. He's like, I'm on Team Arizona.
I know that's what I'm saying, but I'm like,
Well, I'm like,
dude,
sorry,
you're
dude.
born in California.
You were born in Cali. into
Okay,
it.
that's a solid squad.
Solid squad.
Really solid California star to start out the state Royal Rumble.
Yeah, yeah.
I had no idea Brooks Orpik was from
Yeah,
San
that-
Francisco, California.
That one surprised me. That
Yep.
one surprised me. Do you have any others, or do we just?
But
do
no,
Cali?
just did Cali just to get us started.
Okay.
And
that's-
eventually we'll put together all the relevant states we'll put
Oh, I
together, and then we'll
love
kind of
that.
do like a bracket. We'll put it on
I
the story.
love
People will
that.
vote the bracket to the best team.
dude, the goal scoring power with Austin and Robo and Morsey too,
Yeah,
frankly.
kid's a
And then
weapon this
Thatcher, Demko, and Net. That's a tough lineup to beat.
Kidding me?
That is a tough lineup to beat.
Thank you, Tom Olson.
Yeah, California getting us off to a hot start.
Yep.
I like it a lot. Now, another little fun crowdsource thing that we wanted to do had a great DM saying...
Do you remember who it was? Can you find that?
Yeah, I think I can. DM said, big basketball fan, recently getting into the NHL, from Georgia. So Thrashers are gone, doesn't have an NHL team. Basically said to us, do you guys have any other pro team comps for all the teams in the NHL to help me figure out who my team should be? And I loved this topic.
Like, what's the NBA equivalent for the NHL teams?
Yeah. I loved this topic.
So I made a list, and you can weigh in.
Yeah.
We both can weigh in. Keep in mind there's 2 more hockey teams. So I had to give 2 NBA teams 2 teams.
Oh, I like that. And to be clear, folks, we're not doing a, this is a if you have no allegiance. So it's not like if you're a Celtics fan, you're automatically a Bruins fan. It's like, who are the Celtics like right now? Based on, how you're doing in the league, but also your vibe.
And it's not like all time. Like, I'm not like, if you're a storied NBA fan, I'm kind of like how you're doing the last few years, vibe, whatever. Some were easy, some were super hard. How well do you know the NBA?
Fair enough.
Well,
definitely a Raptors guy. Was on the streets of Toronto when we were celebrating that 2019 championship. Was on top of
That's pretty sick.
That was the last time Blake was in Toronto.
I honestly, that was right about the last time I was there.
Yep.
But yeah, so
you went out on a high. You literally went with Kawhi.
Galactus.
Oh yeah. Okay, Dan, weigh in when you see fit. Pistons, Sharks. Pistons lost 50 fucking games in a row. The Sharks are fucking horrible.
Yeah, I mean, just based on this year alone, not terrible. I would like to say if the Pistons look like they've got a little bit of a bright future, I think it'd be a good comp. But yeah, right now it's like if you are miserable,
Pistons, Sharks.
Be a Shark.
Yep. Timberwolves, Canucks.
Yeah, really good.
Great players on their roster for years. Always like, why are you bad?
Yeah.
And then this year, best record in the league, in the West.
Yeah, you
Canucks.
have a young superstar on the team who could leave at any moment.
Yep. Yep. This one's that one's a slam dunk.
That's an easy one.
Okay, this one is 2. 76ers get 2 teams.
The Toronto Maple Leafs
and the Edmonton Oilers. One of the best living players is on your roster. Cannot get out of the fucking second round.
Yeah.
I know the Oilers made it past that one time.
You have impossibly confident fans who also hate your team more than anything on planet Earth when you lose. You have a rivalry with your, same conference team that you're like, fuck you, we beat you every time, and you actually lose every single time. And it's, that's a really good
slam dunk. That one's money. Milwaukee Bucks, Colorado Avs. Won the ship a couple years ago.
Phenomenal.
Both have an elite, possibly the best player alive on your team, but but somehow being kind of slept on this year. Like either of them could easily win.
Yep.
This one just worked out, but I think it's right. Celtics Bruins. Story franchises. They're both in first place. They both have a great player on the team who's like a top 5 guy. You're like, oh, you're like a top 5 guy in the league. Celtics are better than the Bruins are, but the Bruins have the best record in the league.
I was going to just say vibe. The Bruins feel like they've got a more mature veteran squad than the Celtics do. But then again, they both choked last year. They're both embarrassing themselves. So not bad.
Pretty good.
Not bad.
It worked out that way.
It's crazy. All the Boston sports teams like Red Sox, Pats, Celtics, Bruins, they kind of all have that similar vibe and narrative around them and like persona. I think it just has to do with the Boston area and the people from there. But God, you guys are such Boston homers.
Yeah.
It's so funny how well, dude, we're also masochists because the Pats and the Sox were the title holders. They did all the legwork. The Celtics got one, the Bruins got one.
Oh, I've heard it all.
And
have you
now,
have you?
Now though, the Pats and the Red Sox are the most embarrassing clown shows in their respective sports, and the only hope Boston has is the Bruins and the Celtics.
Hey,
Crazy flip.
Yeah. We only get 2 out of 4. Oh, no. Okay. Knicks. And this one's not as good for past years, but this year's pretty good, I think. Knicks, Flyers. Both like, oh, wow. You guys are pretty competitive. Like, both of them are coming in kind of like, maybe we'll see how they are. Flyers even more so than the Knicks.
Both
but
big
like,
market.
Yeah, big,
fan
storied
base.
franchises. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, damn, you're doing pretty good.
I think similar to the Bruins one, this could have been Rangers too, because it's both,
I almost did. I'll tell you why I didn't.
They're teams that are pretty solid, you know, have a shot at a championship run, completely living off of their storied history.
Yep.
Like it's sorry.
Yeah, dude. Bang.
Sorry for doing that. But yeah, that's
Here's what I did do though. Heat, Rangers. Both have been really close for the last few years, never quite got it done. You have good players, like Jimmy Butler's good, but you're not like, oh my God, you're the best player in the league. Like Panarin's great, but I don't think anyone's, really good teams have been close the last few years.
Don't hate it.
Yeah, can't quite get there.
Don't hate it at all.
Okay, this one's also slam dunk. Spurs, Blackhawks. First overall, godlike prospect on your team, dead last. You're horrible. Bright future, you're
the
horrible.
Spurs last again this
Yeah.
year?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. I love that picture of Wemby and
and Betsy,
Bedard.
dude. It's
He's
ridiculous.
twice his size.
He
literally twice his size.
It's like, oh, Bedard looks like he's back in Pee Wee.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yep. This one, we'll see. Nuggets, Golden Knights. Obviously, I did it because they're both defending champs, but I think they're both like not in first right now. The Nuggets are in 3rd or 4th right now.
Yeah.
Knights are in like 3rd or 4th. But I'm like, they're nasty though. No one wants them. Great player on the team.
Yeah.
Jack, Joker. I'm like,
Not bad.
not bad.
Keep going.
Warriors, Penguins. Money, dude.
No.
Aging stars out of the playoffs, both trying to do one last run. Like, oh, Steph and Clay, we're all back. Malkin, Letang, we're all here, and you're both out of the playoffs by like one spot.
Okay, right now it's okay, but like they won 2 years ago. The Penguins are,
Yeah, I mean it was 5 years ago. No one's gonna be perfect, dude. That's
fair.
pretty fucking good.
All right,
dude.
that's fair. Fair.
I like
fair.
that comp.
I don't hate it.
Mavs, who are also like basically out of the playoffs right now, but have Luka.
Devils.
Devils.
Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect one.
Clippers, Bolts. And I put that one because I was like, I think they're both pretty nasty. They have Kawhi, they have Stammer. Like, they've got studs on their team, but everyone's like, they're fine. And I'm like, yep. And they are fine, but like, they could win in a world. This one's fine. Suns, Stars. I put them in there because they're like I kind of did the Stars dirty here because the Suns aren't doing that well, but the Suns are scary. KD.
Rattle these off now. Unless you got a couple that are dope, rattle them off.
Cavs, Canes, Magic. I did Islanders and Predators because the Magic are kind of. I was like, are you guys good actually? Like I can't quite tell with that one. Pelicans, Blues, same. Like Pelicans are like kind of doing pretty good, and the Blues out of fucking nowhere. I like this one. Jazz, Capitals. The Jazz have sick players, and like the Caps have Ovi, but they both suck. And I'm like, you're bad.
I'm seeing a flaw here.
Okay.
I think the Raptors should be compared to the St. Louis Blues. I know they both won this championship in the same year, 2019.
Yeah,
that's nice.
But that's what I see is like, they've had their one championship that was like the first of their franchise history,
and now they're kind of waffling and like, are you in playoffs or not, dude?
Well,
What's going on?
It was like everything was perfect that year and everything came together. So I see those two teams as and like you put the Raptors with the Wild. That's an insult.
That was but the Raptors are bad, dude.
But they won a championship.
Yeah, true. And the Wild can't get out of the first round. Okay, I like that. So that would be who'd I put the Blues with? The Pelicans. Yeah, but the Wild are way too good for the Pelicans. Or the Wild are way too bad for the Pelicans.
I see two flaws here as we wrap up here.
Okay.
Lakers, Flames. Ridiculous. That's a ridiculous comparison.
Yeah, I couldn't find a good Lakers one.
And I'm not giving you a hard time because like that's a hard one. But like, if you're telling a Lakers fan what hockey team to be a fan of, it's certainly not the Flames.
Oh, yeah, but that's not it, though. It's not. I'm not saying,
it definitely
if you like the
is.
Lakers, you should root for the Flames. I'm saying, like, these are the team comps.
But I think that, like, the whole point of this exercise was this person asking, like, if I'm a fan of this team, who should I root for? You know what I mean? So, like, that one is I don't think that's a good one at all.
Okay.
And then I think with how much fun the Preds are, I like the Magic Islanders Preds, but, like, the Preds are so cool.
I don't know if you realize how cool the Magic are, though. Like you don't.
I don't.
Yeah,
that's
like,
what my question was. Like, are the
this year?
Okay, but see, like, dude, this is where we're getting our wires crossed. The Magic might have cool players, but like Is Orlando cool? Is like the culture of the Orlando Magic cool?
Yeah.
Is the arena cool? No way. Like
we're doing it different, but I think the listener should listen to me because this is much more what he was looking for.
You're really basing this strictly on performance right now.
Yeah, because I'm like, if this is the team I root for, I'm curious what that team. I don't care about like, well, I want to know.
But we're talking about fans. We're not talking about standings. Like I like looking at this as like, if this is what I'm into, if this is the culture of my team, if this is the vibe of my fan base, what's a comparable NHL squad that I would like to be in on that fan base?
Yeah, well, listen, he DM'd us. Someone did work and made a list. Someone did not do anything. So if you want to make your own list about feel, then go ahead.
I'm into this, dude. I like what you've done. I'm just saying I think we could go further and think about, what is a good... Like, if you're a Lakers fan...
Leafs Lakers.
Not bad, right? Like, that's a pretty solid one. So I love... You know what I love? I love what you've done here. Mm-hmm. I wonder if we did that and see how many crossovers there are.
Yeah.
Because that would be a great, like, this is who you should definitely root.
Yeah. Oh, right. I'm looking at it, probably not a lot. But
there might be. But I think
maybe
that's
there's one.
Like, even if there's 4, then I'm like this. There you go. Like
that's the answer.
That's your money spot.
Okay, that'll be your homework.
But that's good stuff. I like that a lot, dude. I really, really like a few of those. The T-Wolves.
Yeah, there
Canucks.
were some great ones. I didn't even get to.
T-Wolves Canucks. That feels kind of vibey to me. Like beautiful Minnesota, beautiful BC.
Yep.
Locals love the team, love the players. Like
this one's money. Pacers, Red Wings, hockey hotbed, basketball hotbed. Bad last year, really up and coming this year. Going to make
really
playoffs.
Good.
That one's spot on.
That one's really good.
Yep.
Really
Great
good.
Job, Chris.
Good job.
Great job.
All right.
Oh wait, one more. Grizzlies, Sabres. I love that. Look, I know Jaw's fucking like out of the league right now, but like or hurt. But I love that they have these like iconic talent players, and they're in fucking dead last.
Yeah,
and I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Brutal. Okay, before we move on to some other stuff, we're gonna talk about a team that is absolutely buzzing in the Oilers in a second. But before that, we've got to talk about our Los Angeles Kings.
Yeah, gotta go good news, bad news, get the bad news out of the way.
Let's start with the
Give
bad
me the
news.
damn veggies.
The Los Angeles Kings are a true tragedy right now. I believe they've lost, what is it now, 13 of their last 15, might be 12 of their last 14, but they are on a colossal skid. Started with an overtime loss to the Detroit Red Wings that they were winning 2-0 in the first period against, then just couldn't finish the job. Red Wings clawed back, losing OT, losing a shootout. Patty Kane, ice in his veins.
Yep.
We saw that Rob Blake announced that Todd McClellan is going to be the coach for the rest of the season, kind of putting to bed a lot of the speculation on Twitter from people like us, from people like Chicklets, from people all over the internet, beat reporters and stuff like that. Things have gone from bad to worse.
Yep.
Doughty is talking about there's a culture problem in the locker room. So here we are, brutal loss to the Blues. What on earth is up next for this Kings team?
I don't know that I know what's up next. Well, I'll say this. Here's what's up next. Changes. There's going to be, no matter what Rod Blake says, there might be firings. There will be trades. There will be health bombs. There will be line adjustments.
Yep.
Like there's a lot of change coming to the Kings no matter what. I'm not going to sit here and be like, this is exactly what's going to happen. But I'm telling you, things are going to be happening.
For sure.
Here's what I want to talk about, though, and you can weigh in with what you think changes will happen. It's weird to me to see this happen to that team specifically.
Yeah.
Because I feel about the Kings the way I felt about the Bruins the last couple seasons. Go back into when Berg and Krejci were still playing.
Mm-hmm.
That is a core, and the Bruins only fucking won once, but like that is a Kings core that had 2 cups, that had playoff success. You had a really cool, super fast, on-the-fly retool, let's call it, with your core still there. As Brownie leaves, you're like, oh, is this the end of the Kings? And then they're like, dude, bang, 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 we're right back in the hunt here.
Mm-hmm.
There are too many veteran leaders that have experienced success in this league, and there are too many veterans that have experienced success in their front office to have the locker room problems that it's presumed they are having right now.
Agree.
Like, if this was the Devils, I'd be like, yeah, fuck. You know, like they're young kids, they're sick. Everyone wants to get theirs. What Dowdy said, like, it's a cookie night. How is this happening to this team? How did it? And I'm projecting. We're reading into what Dowdy said. I don't know shit about what's going on inside those walls.
You're cooking. Keep going.
But like, how on earth? And I'm not blaming the vets either. But I'm just like, how on earth is a Drew Doughty, Anze Kopitar captained team coming apart at the seams like this? And to be very fucking clear, dude, this season is going up in smoke. Dan and I were talking on the way in here. It is so fascinating in pro sports how a month ago we can all be sitting in this studio being like, dude, the Kings are an absolute wagon. What a fucking awesome season they're having. And now they are this close to being fucked, to being completely fucked.
Out of the playoffs.
Your season is over, dude.
Out of the playoffs.
And it's just so crazy to me. The culture in that locker room, how could it have deteriorated not only, dude, over an off season, like mid-season.
Yeah.
You know, everyone online's like, PLD, the fucking trade sucked. He's been a team cancer everywhere. Why wasn't he a team cancer for the first 2 months of the fucking year, dude? Like, did he come back after Christmas and fucking poison everyone's drinks? Like, what are you talking about? And again, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's anything, but just, it is impossible to me that the culture of that locker room specifically could implode out of fucking nowhere.
Incredibly well said, man. I said on our first pod of the year in Seattle, my crazy prediction, our first Saucey prediction was this team's going to be in the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Because everything looked that way. I just can't believe all of the things that you said. For me, this is a crazy situation of what I hate is seeing the deterioration of the fan base right now. People being like, Rob Blake's a fucking idiot. Robitaille's a fucking idiot. This organization, this, that, the other. Dude, the Kings are a phenomenal organization. I've said that forever. I think it very, very passionately. I think they have unbelievable leaders. I think Doughty, I think Kopi, I think Talbot. These are guys who've been in the league for a long time, who know what it takes to win. And I don't believe that there is just complete chaos going on in this locker room. I think that there are small issues. And you look at the season, early in the season, they couldn't win at home.
Yeah,
it was absurd. They had all their wins on the road, but then they started cooking. They started getting those wins. Copley started slow, so Talbot took the reins. Then Copley started to get it going a little bit. Then he gets hurt. Those are speed bumps. Those are things that should not completely derail a team. And I think we are looking at a situation where, yes, they were firmly in second place in the Pacific, flirting with first. Now they have flip-flopped, like you said, Blake, with the Oilers. They're boogeyman. They are potentially staring down the barrel of being out of the playoffs, which is so unacceptable. And, dude, we never like to talk about someone's job. We make this a joke all the time, but obviously we mean it passionately. I don't want anyone to get fired ever. I think Todd McClellan's a great coach. I think he's a great person, too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when Rob Blake tries to settle the waters and say something like, Todd is our coach, that's fine. I respect that. But when it's this bad now, you cannot let this team just keep playing like shit and if you fall out of the playoffs, I don't even care if you get back in. That's just poor management. And the thing that I think is really crazy is you have a game on Wednesday against the Nashville Predators. After that, we are heading into the All-Star break. If you lose that game and Todd isn't fired by Thursday morning, again, I do not want this to happen.
Yep.
Just looking at it from a standpoint of, as this team, can you afford to let things get worse? You cannot is the answer. So for me, dude, if you're a guy in that locker room, if you're a leader in that locker room and you see what's going on and you lose on Wednesday to the Preds in their barn and nothing is done and you just head into All-Star break and hope everyone's going to come back after 10 days, however many days, and we're just going to be fine. Can you imagine the low emotions that would be coming back into that locker room? If you've now lost, what will it be? Look this up.
So they've lost 14 of their last 16.
So it is 14-16.
Yeah.
So if you lose 15 of your last 17 and you look at yourself where you are in the standings, I mean, there it is right there. You're number 1 in the wild card. You have 54 points, tied with the St. Louis Blues.
And look who's 1 point behind them.
And the Preds, yeah. Like, if you lose that game and you're now potentially out of playoffs, you are not coming back into that locker room going, all right, guys, let's reset here. You're going, we're fucked. Our management has given up on us. And just assuming things are we're going to right the ship. It's a clown show. And for me, the people who have been talking shit about PL, I'm not coming to PL's defense here, but I don't know, dude. I look at, you've got Kopi having a great year. You've got Doughty having a phenomenal year. You've got Byfield finally having this breakout season. You have surprises like Trevor Moore playing unconscious, best season of his career. Spence has come in and is fucking amazing. Just a bastion of hope on the blue line that came out of nowhere. Kempe's playing phenomenally, as always. Fiala picked it up and is playing really, really well. I just think when you are losing this many games and the just lack of juggling situations, like PL has really, I mean, Blake, you can speak to this definitely. To me, it felt like PL got maybe 10 games on a legitimate line.
Yeah.
And since then, it's just been bullshit. He's been playing with Grenstrom. He's been playing with Turcotte. He's been playing with
Laferriere.
Laferriere. Like, he's been playing with so many different players. And I've said this before. PL is just signed a big ticket. There's pressure on that. Just moved across the continent,
different country.
Big part of that. There's gonna be growing pains. Absolutely. PL is the type of guy who's gonna get you 70 points when he's playing with good talent. I don't think PL right now at this juncture in his career is going to be a guy that's carrying bottom 6 guys to, wow, you're having a career season. You need to mess around with these lines here, especially when you're losing this much.
Yep.
And they're just not really. So change is the answer. Change has to happen. And I think, unfortunately, it's significant change. If a big fucking trade doesn't happen here, as far as it's going to mix up the lines, it's going to add a huge body to some part of the lineup, or a coaching change, unfortunately. If one of these things doesn't happen, this team could miss the playoffs. And this team missing the playoffs would, I think, be the great failure of
massive step backwards.
Yes.
What were you going to say?
So it sounds like the writing on the wall is there for Arthur Kaliev. It sounds like management is getting ready to I think they've been shopping him around, but I think they're now getting ready to find him a new home. And I think the speculation is that they'd like to add some grit to their bottom 6 and a little more depth.
Yeah.
Probably someone to play with PL. My thing with PL though, if you're gonna pay someone $8.5 million, you got to be able to drive play by yourself.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
so
think
fair.
you can rely on having your sidekick there. Obviously, yeah, dude, it helps so much. Like, you look at Kopitar playing with Kempe, Morsey playing with Danault, with Fiala. Like, you need to play with good players, but you also need to see more out of a guy who's getting that big ticket.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely
there's it's a bit of both. It's that yin and yang. You need more from him, but you also need to provide him more and give him more opportunities to succeed. It's tough when you come to a new team that has already established a core and a winning culture, and then you come in and you're looked at as the bad guy or the ingredient that fucked up the recipe. But I think it's, like I said, it's a bit of both. You need more out of him, but also we need to support him a little more. And I agree with you. The fan base is just flipped.
Oh, the fan base is out of
instantly.
control, dude. And you're absolutely right. I think the last thing I'll say is, and you both circled on it, they were buzzing. They were so good. They were one of, if not the best team in the league for close to the first half. So it feels a little savage now that everyone goes like this. It's PL's fault.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what was he doing for the first half of the
Exactly.
season then? Like, so it's just, I think it's ignorant to blame it all on one piece of the puzzle here. There's clearly some things, if not a lot of things, that need to be shuffled around here. But yeah, closing on this is things are big bad.
I think I got a solution.
Go.
Doughty and Kopi need to orchestrate and coordinate a team bonding vacation over this All-Star break and just green light, let loose, and really get that core and that camaraderie back together.
This call, yeah.
And come back out of that break nice and suntan, nice and ready to go, recharged. Like the previous month never happened.
Because, dude,
As
it
silly
starts
as
with
it
the
is,
culture, for real.
As silly as it sounds, and because like that sounds like a simple solution, but dude, I honestly agree. Like I think there needs to be like a collective. We're all hanging. We're all in this together, and right the ship
A
here.
kind of look in the mirror moment, like, look, guys, like struggles are gonna happen. Like good teams go through this. Look at Vegas, like they went through this last season, not to this extent, but it's inevitable. So if it's inevitable, we need to be the team or the culture or the leadership that can react to this and not overreact to it and get back on track and stay on track and know that these kinds of hardships are going to come. These kinds of losing streaks happen every single season. But there needs to be that leadership and that cohesiveness that I think they've lost a little bit, but they can easily get it back with that core.
Definitely.
Agree.
All right, let's talk about some positive things now. And the team that has not lost in, I think it's 367 days, the Edmonton Oilers are the best NHL team in the history
Ever
of
put
the
together,
league.
ever assembled.
Talk to me about this team.
They've won 16 straight games. They are one win away from tying the NHL record of 17 straight set by the Penguins in 92-93.
Yeah. I think it's 41 days now, time of recording. They have not lost in 41 days, Blake.
The bad news for the Oilers is, if you care about the streak, well, I guess everyone probably cares about the streak. The bad news for the Oilers is the break comes at a horrible time, I would say. Like,
Because you're buzzing?
yeah, like I think when you're on 16-game heater, you just want to fucking play again in 2 days. Like, you don't need to take a time off and everyone go fuck around.
But I wonder, Chris, if it's one of those. You're absolutely right. I wonder though if it's one of those situations where you come back, you win that first game, and everyone in the league is like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
It's just such a mental confidence thing. So,
But it's harder to get that next one with the break. I think.
fair.
Like
fair,
you just
fair,
want
fair.
to play the next night. You're like, let's fucking go, dude.
Yeah.
So bad timing on that. That being said, even with the bad timing, do you guys think they break the record? Who do they play? Do you know? Pull up the Oilers schedule.
And what is the record?
One more. They're 60, or they got to win 2 more to break it. One more to tie it.
Absolutely.
I think
I
you
do.
can click on them right there, Blake, on your screen, or unless you already have it.
Absolutely, I do. And let's check out who their next 2 games are. Blake, hit us.
So on Saturday, they defeated the Predators. Now they're into the All-Star break.
Yeah.
So they come out of the All-Star break at Golden Knights,
Ooh.
at Ducks, at Kings, and then at home against the Red Wings, home against the Blues.
Okay, so the West
Or
Coast
at the Blues.
Yeah. So they're on a road West Coast swing where they play the
Knights to tie,
Ducks, and
Ducks
then
to break
Kings.
it.
So we're obviously going to that Kings game.
Yeah.
I think they do it.
Because if
'Cause
they
they'll
beat the
tie
Knights,
it
they'll
with
beat
the
the
Knights.
Ducks. If they
Yeah.
beat the Knights, they'll beat the Ducks.
I think they do it.
I think they do it too.
I think they do it.
McDavid and Draisaitl are so focused and
Dialed.
driven now, and I think they're honestly looking at this season like, we don't care if we score tonight, we just want to win tonight.
Do you
I
know
think
what?
Cassidy
You know what's
beats 'em.
unfortunate?
I think Cassidy beats them.
You know what's unfortunate for Edmonton, or excuse me, for Edmonton haters? This could be it. The beginning of this season, the way people were relishing in their potential downfall and the way they have grabbed the stick and pulled straight up,
Yeah.
this could be that adversity that Connor needed.
Dude.
Where he just put his head down, he aged 25 years and went, fuck it. I'm going to do it myself.
Yep.
And just buries the rest of the league and wins a cup this year.
I'm so pleased with my preseason Oilers take and my unwavering of them. Like, even when they're doldrums, I was sitting in here with you guys being like,
Yep.
this team could be in dead last at the All-Star break and they will
Yep.
still make the playoffs and still go to the cup.
I'm over
Like,
here speculating. I was like, if they miss the playoffs, you got to change something up. They're going to win the Pacific.
Dude.
And they're going to win the cup.
They are
And it's
an
going to be
absolute
insane.
machine. And just said it. I do think Cassidy. I got money on Cassidy beating them coming out of the breaks. I don't think they'll break the record, but they are fucking dominant, dude. It's so insane. Like, they always had the firepower. And dude, I forget when I pulled that up stat for it last week. Like, they give up like the 3rd least amount of goals in the league. And every time I've beat them at all, it's been like the D's bad and the goaltending's bad. And I'm like, they have the fucking 3rd best D in the league, dude. And I don't mean like literally defenseman. I don't mean literally their goalie. I mean, do you keep pucks out of the net, which is all that matters.
Yeah.
And they are top 3 in the league. And you couple that with fucking RNH and McDick and Leon and Hyman and whatever the fuck. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude.
It is crazy because they're just so dominant. If you watch the games, they're so dominant. And they're winning low-scoring games
Yep.
now too.
That's what I mean.
The playoffs are such a different beast.
Yep.
And this is not going to happen, and they're not even thinking about this. I'm just throwing shit around. There's part of me that wants them to identify what's going on and make a big trade for a goalie. And just
No, dude.
yes,
no,
dude, listen to
bro.
me. Listen to me. Because, dude, you know what's going to happen? Well, you know what could possibly happen? This is no disrespect to Stu Skinner.
Yep.
But they could get into the playoffs, even get through the first round, and then just come against a good team where all of a sudden Stuart Skinners himself,
Yep.
like he did last year, and you lose because of one piece.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Dude.
That will suck, dude.
Yep.
Like it'll suck for everybody. I think Stuart Skinner is a good goalie, but I
Yeah.
don't think he is a great goalie yet. And as we have now,
How old is he?
Stuart Skinner?
is it
Yeah.
25 or 26,
Yeah.
I think.
Yep.
But we have talked about this ad nauseum. There's one team in the last 10 years that won a cup without a great goalie, and it was the Avs.
Yep. But here's the thing. It's Stuart Skinner, and dude, I talked the most shit about him
Last year, yeah.
than anybody. Like, I was like, that dude sucks. And everyone's up my ass. He's an all-star. And I was like, he fucking blew, dude. And I'm not
been
saying
so
I'm not saying
solid.
you're saying that is going to happen, but I'm like, dude, if Stuart Skinner makes an all-star game as a rookie, and then, or was he?
he was a rookie last
year.
year.
Makes an all-star game as a rookie, and then this year breaks whose record was it? Fuhr's record for most wins in a row as an Oilers goalie, and then at the so he goes rookie year all-star, second year breaks the record for most consecutive
all-time
Oilers
Oilers,
wins,
yeah.
and they go like this, traded.
Oh no, sorry.
Or they trade for someone above him. I'd be like, what the fuck? If I'm him, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Who is their backup right now, Blake?
Calvin Pickard, who just had
Pickard.
a shutout over the weekend. I think it was over the Blackhawks.
They can't
but I mean,
lose,
still.
dude. They can't lose.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Stuart Skinner, dude, I am very happy, not happy, well, yeah, happy to potentially eat fucking crow on that he might become. I don't think he's a great goalie
But
yet.
he
I agree
could
with
be.
you. But in a couple of years, we might be like, Stuart Skinner is one of the best
Yep.
goalies in the league, and I
And-
can't
and-
believe I ever talk shit about him.
I was gonna say I'd be happy to eat crow, but it's not even eating crow because here's the facts, people. We were absolutely right.
yeah.
Like we were 100% right. He was not great at all, and that showed in the playoffs. He was not great at all to start this year when they were struggling. And even with those stats of like they're not giving up that, but his numbers were not good.
At the
They
beginning
weren't.
of this year, they were horrific. Dude, there's a cool stat
But
on
now-
Go ahead, yeah.
He is playing very well.
Dude.
So it's the age-old question: Are you too hot too early? Because there's people forget, like we're starting to talk about the trade deadline here. It's All-Star break. People are like, oh my god. There's a lot of the season left. Dude.
Blake, pull up Stuart Skinner's hockey reference while you're talking again.
So it is you need Pickard to get some good games in here to finish out the season because you don't want to overplay Skinner because as we've talked about, we are not in the place yet where we're doing tandem in the playoffs.
And
So-
to your point earlier, Dan, I think maybe last week, I forget what we were talking about. Unfortunately for Skinner, nothing he does in the regular season matters.
Literally
Like,
nothing.
They can win
The-
the Pacific.
the
and
Oilers-
he can win the Vezina.
The
And if
Oilers
they
are one of
blow
these
it- yeah.
teams. They're
So
one of these
scroll
teams.
down, Blake. Look at
We're-
this cool stat, Dan. I've never seen this before. Okay, stop. See, like goals against, save percentage, all that shit. It's I think it's RBS. Put your mouse over RBS. Really bad starts. That's a stat. I was like, hell yeah, dude.
It's electric.
But last year he had 9 really bad starts. Okay.
Uh-huh.
This year he already has 6,
Yeah.
which is like on pace to. I mean, I guess that's a hard one to say, quote unquote, on pace because like you could just not do it ever again.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure those 6 were like in the first month.
Yeah.
Like, this start of the season, he was fucking really bad, straight
Yeah.
up.
Yep.
And he's completely reeled it back in. But I guess my larger point is,
And I mean, you look at
that
his-
is in him. Like if he gives you 3 really bad starts in the playoffs, you probably lose a series, and now you're out.
Yeah, his last 5, he's
been unbelievable.
His save percentage is absurd. He's playing so much
They're giving
better.
up 1.5 goal per game in this win streak. Like
Yeah.
they are ridiculous.
So let's look. We're getting into about a month away from the deadline, especially coming out of the All-Star break. Last deadline, Kenny Holland kind of unloaded the clip a little bit and
Yep.
going out and trained for Ekholm. He traded 2 first-round picks. Well, their previous first-round pick, Reed Schaefer, and then their first-round pick
Yep.
in last year's draft, Tyson Barrie, and another draft pick. So this year, based on their assets, in 2024, they have a first and a second. In 2025, they have a first and a third. Notable prospects, we got Borgo, might be mispronouncing that one, but he was their first-round pick in 2021. Raphael Lavoie was their second-round pick in 2019. He's been a solid AHLer.
Yep.
Philip Broberg, 8th overall pick in 2019, has not really panned out for them. And then their second-round pick last year, Aki. And their projected deadline cap space is $4 million. So
Not
they
nothing.
have some money to work with. They just added Perry. What do we think they're thinking going into this deadline?
You're gonna hate this, but I think the fact that they have Evander Kane on this team who's not really buzzing yet, who could wake up easily at any point, and certainly in the playoffs, is terrifying. Listen, I put them in the same category as I put the Leafs in terms of you don't need more firepower.
Yeah.
You said last week Perry was a gargantuan move. I disagree in some sense, but I do see Perry at what on offense. What would they need? It's bottom six. That's a good bottom six ad.
Yeah, plus power play. Yeah.
So I'm like, you're done, dude.
Yep.
On offense, I think they should go get a defenseman, 100%. And it sounds funny to say this because they're not doing well right now, but go get a defenseman like Gavrikov, like the Kings did. Like get a D-man, defensive D-man, because you've got Bouchard. Bouchard is a monster. Nurse, obviously not playing that well, but I think Nurse is borderline more offensive than he is defensive, which sounds so crazy because he's such a big body.
Yeah.
But you need like a Dennis Seidenberg, like the Bruins had in 2011 when they won the Cup. You need a guy like Pietrangelo who can just high hockey IQ, dominate another team's first line and shut them down because...
So you want them to go trade out for another Ekholm, essentially.
Right. And for me, or go ahead. You can answer that.
I do. And it's like, it just to me feels like Ekholm is, looking at their D-cord, Ekholm is on an island in my opinion. And Oilers fans, jump down my throat, please, if one of these guys is having an unbelievable defensive year. But to me, it's more a sense of it can't hurt. Like, go get fucking Cam Fowler, dude. Like,
yeah.
You just need a veteran. You need a veteran defensive guy who is going to stay mentally strong through a playoff run, because you need to give Skinner help. You need to give the forwards help in terms of you can't win a Stanley Cup even with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl going, you guys need to score fucking 5 goals again.
Yep.
You can't do it. So I love the idea of this team, buckling down again, getting another Ekholm type, and just going, we are going to get so much stronger defensively to help Skinner, just to help the whole D-core and push through a playoff.
Okay, I'll say this. Obviously, this 16-game run is not a responsible sample size to look at, right? But if at the very least they've proven they can win games without needing to score 5 goals, right? They're like, we can play this roster right here, as constructed, has proven over a long stretch, 16 games, that's 4 fucking rounds if you sweep everybody.
Yeah.
We can keep the puck out of the net. I'm digging in on, I don't think they do make a big move, to your point. Like, I don't think the assets they have and the space they have would allow them to make a big, like, you could try to go out and like make some fucking ripples. I'm digging in that they don't. I don't think they need any more forwards. I don't think they do anything at goalie. I agree with you that if they do something, it would be D. And I'm going to say a name that is not someone that this team would give up or that I think they should target. I'm just giving a comp. Instead of going to get a Pietrangelo, which would like literally make this team win the Cup, I think. Instead of spending what that would cost, I would go get like a Brandon Carlo, who's like, yo, dude,
absolutely.
This is not a big move. No one's like, holy shit, they got Pietrangelo. I would, if they do anything else, I would get a D guy who is a D guy who's like not a one pairing, like not a high pay, don't have to pay that much for it, give a prospect maybe, whatever.
Some of the guys that have been mentioned on the trade block, Noah Hannafin, Jacob Chikrin, those are not
their targets.
Those are not targets here. I don't care if the math works. I just don't think those are the type of players who you're going to be sitting there saying, oh, this just made our D way stronger.
The 2 factors I think are interesting for them to think about is, one, sometimes you don't want, like, this locker room maybe is a fucking family right now. I don't know, but maybe they're like, dude, I don't need anything else in here. We want to go to war with exactly who we've got, right?
Yeah, they went through a divorce and now they're getting stronger.
Exactly. So maybe they're like, I don't need more ads. The other thing is, if someone if the West, this happened one year, I forget what year it was, but sometimes everyone retools. Like if all the top teams in the West all start bringing in huge guys at the deadline, I could see them being forced into a move. That's the only other factor.
Yeah.
I think they go out. Look, their cap situation, Leon's got 2 more years at 8.5.
Yeah.
Bouchard, 2 more years at 3.9. McLeod, 2 more years at 2.1. Skinner, I know we just shit on him, 3 more years at 2.6. So all 4 of those guys, reasonable numbers, core pieces to your team, they're only going to get more expensive, and you're probably not going to be able to keep all 4 of them.
Yeah.
I think, and you have the assets right now, and like this team is hot. I think they're going to make a big move. I think.
Okay.
If I were to make a saucy prediction,
I love
right
it, dude.
now,
I mean,
I'm saying they're going out and making the biggest splash. I don't know what that splash specifically is.
As in, they need to move a big piece.
I think
Or the
you
assets,
could do a
yeah.
similar trade like last year where they had to move Barry as a part of that Ekholm trade. If you need to move CC to upgrade that top 4, or like we said, they have the cap space right now. Go unload those picks and prospects and really go for it this year.
Yeah, you don't need those
it.
picks. You don't need your 28, 26 to 32 overall first round pick. Also, you can't do it. But if they could move Nurse.
I don't think they can, but
I don't think they can either. But if they could move Nurse and get a Cam Fowler type back, holy fuck, would that set them up?
Fantasyland over here.
Yeah. I want to talk about two goats really quick before we finish up.
Yep.
No Bucky and move on to hot ice, and that's Sid and Ovi.
Yep.
I'm going to start with Ovi. This is very quick.
Okay.
This has been coming up a lot this season with people in the DMs, people we see on the streets, and just other news channels that we watch, beat reporters, stuff like that. The Ovi disrespect this season is getting out of control, and I want to look at you and say I appreciate that you've not been a part of it.
I know.
Because as a Sid dick writer, you've talked your shit about Ovi, and you haven't done it at all. The big stories with Ovi the last calendar year have been, is he going to catch Gretzky? And then this season, what is going on? I think it's important to note Ovi is having a very, very down year. He's still leading, or maybe not quite now, he was up until like 3 weeks ago leading the Caps in points. So everyone piped down a little bit. And he's hurt right now. We also don't know if he's been hurt this season. But dude, Ovi's slowing down at age 38, and people taking this as an opportunity to A, dance on his grave and go, he's not even going to sniff Gretzky's record.
He's already sniffing it.
And
he can smell it.
And calling him like a one-dimensional player. He's just a goal scorer, this and that. Dude, put some respect on Alex Ovechkin's name.
Yep.
This guy, over the last 18 years, has been one of the most electric NHL players of all time, will easily go down in history as one of the greatest to ever play the game, will easily go down as one of the greatest goal scorers of all time, if not the greatest. Even if he doesn't pass Gretzky, I think he's the greatest goal scorer to ever live. The way he scores and at the pace that he did it, Matthews might eventually pass.
I know, dude.
But, dude, what people need to remember is Ovi maybe doesn't have the vision and the passing that guys like Sid and Draisaitl and Backstrom have, but Ovi is a guy who has won the Rocket Richard Trophy and also led the NHL in hits in a season multiple times. That is so impossible. I need people to understand how impossible that is, to throw your body around that much while also being the most feared goal scorer in the league. And he did it for almost 2 decades. So everyone, let's take a breath. Respect Alex Ovechkin and what he's done for this game, because he was a big part of Sid in their first year together, when he won Rookie of the Year, by the way, in saving the NHL, coming out of a lockout season. So show some fucking credit. Give some credit, rather, to the king and the Great Eight. That's all I got to say. Now, moving on to Sid. We tossed out a tweet last week that got some attention. Got some attention from some Penguins writers, big Penguins fans. Looking at the situation, standings, Penguins are currently out of a playoff spot. And we said, with the Penguins struggling, missing the playoffs last year, currently being out of the playoffs this year, Sid is playing so insanely well. He's an all-star again. He's on pace for like a 93-point season. Looks like he's 28 years old still. and we did not say that this is going to happen, that we think it's going to happen, is just literally a thought of, I wonder what it would look like if Sid was like, hey, trade me. Let me play out the last 3 years of my career. I'd like to see if I can get another cup. I was shocked with the angry NHL fans saying, this isn't the NBA. Sid's not a scumbag cup chaser. He has too much respect. He has too much class to do that to the Pittsburgh Penguins. I'm not going to go on an angry or fired up rant here. What I want to say is, I don't like this old school NHL, you're a piece of shit if you leave your team mindset. I don't get it. Because if you're a Pittsburgh Penguins fan, if you're a real Pittsburgh Penguins fan, in my opinion, and let's look into the glass ball. The Penguins missed the playoffs this year. They miss it next year. They miss it the year after. If you're a real Penguins fan and you say that you would rather Sid just die on this team for the next 4 years and miss the playoffs for the last years of his career while he's still playing at this truly elite level, then watch him try to go get one more. I think that's crazy. And I don't get the classless take, because you saw it with Joe Thornton and Patrick Marleau.
Yep.
You saw it with Joe Pavelski. You saw it with Ray Bourque in Boston. You've seen it time and time again where a icon,
Patty Kane's on the Red Wings.
Patrick Kane, whose number will be pulled into the rafters, who brought your team and your city and your fan base Stanley Cups. You've seen it happen plenty of times. And, dude, there was a period after the Bruins won the Cup in 11, went to the Cup in 13. There was a little bit of a struggle skid there where it was like, ooh, the Bruins might be tanking now. It's what the Blackhawks did.
Yeah.
Blackhawks won in 13, and then it all fell apart. If they didn't pull up and get guys like Pasta and McAvoy and really kind of pull out of that and be a great team again and get back to Stanley Cups, if they were missing playoffs, I would have been all for trading Bergeron and Krejci, because I would have been like, dude, you've given us everything. If you want to keep competing and giving it another go. It's not ring chasing. It's not cup chasing. It's these guys dedicating their entire lives to this game, wanting to compete at the highest level, wanting to win the greatest trophy in all of sports. And if they looked at your team after everything they've done, specifically Sid, and said, hey, I'd love to just give it another kick at the can, and if you trade me, you are completely fire starting your rebuild.
Yes.
Like,
The haul you get back.
dude, Jake Gensel is a point per game player. He is a UFA this summer. He is not extended. If you think Jake Gensel isn't looking at the deal Pasta signed, the deal Nylander signed, and is going, I deserve easily over 10, you're nuts. There's a chance he takes a team-friendly deal because
Sid and all the boys are doing it. Yep.
Gino's been doing it.
But that's
Sure.
over. That's ending.
But it's, why would Jake Gensel sign his one, because he's already taken a team-friendly deal.
Yeah.
He's already done it, Pittsburgh fans. Why would he go, this is my last chance at signing an 8-year deal. I'm going to take a team-friendly deal just to watch Gino, Sid, Tanger all retire in the next 2 to 3 years. And then
At most.
and then stare at the next 6 years of that contract going, damn, I wish I had got paid once, because they're gone.
Yeah.
So Gensel deserves that 10 plus. That's going to be tough to afford this summer. If they're missing, again, I want to preface this, or now midpoint this, with saying this, I don't think this is going to happen.
Yep.
It's not going to happen. Sid is going to stay in Pittsburgh forever, is what I would guess. But, dude, looking at it from a business decision, if they're not going to make playoffs, if they're at the deadline here and they're like, fuck, we're not going to make it. And Sid was like, dude, I would love to just I'm going to play 2 more years.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to go win a cup. And I think if you trade me and you get 1, if not 2 first-round picks, a prospect, probably a good top 6 player in that haul to make the contracts work, and you give that to Gensel, you give those picks, that prospect, and allow Gensel to sign for 8 more years, be that next captain of the team, and get the money he's worth, that is such a good situation for both Pittsburgh and Crosby. That's my only point. And I'm using Crosby as an example of my greater point in, I want fans and fan bases to to drop this, like, the NHL's too good for letting players go and try one more time. Ring chasing, all that. I don't like that, dude. I don't like that at all. I think you should honor and respect and wish well these guys who've given you everything to go try one more time. If your team's not doing it, if your team's still in the playoffs and they're like this, oh, we're a playoff team, but we're not the number 1 seed, get me out of here. Yeah, I think that's a little shitty. But if you're missing the playoffs, give me a break. Let him go.
Yep, you said it really well. All I'll add is this: Sid is, how old's Joey P? 43 or something? Like,
is Pavelski 40? I think he's 39.
I think he's 41, I thought.
Is he 41?
I think so. And
I'll fact check.
Thornton
Joey
was,
tip drill, dude.
Thornton was, something. I know Thornton didn't. The
I think
last
he was like
year
43 in his
playing,
last
but
year.
So my point is, like, Sid could play 6 more years. Like, in my mind, I'm like, Sid's got a handful of years left, 3 more years
He
left.
legitimately
He could
could.
play. Sid could be
Pavelski's 39.
39. So, like,
I sniped that.
Sid could play 4 more years. Let's call it even 40. Sid could play 4 more years.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's less like, well, this is his last chance. Like, I don't know his crystal ball. But when you were saying, if this Penguins team doesn't make the playoffs, and then you've got all these guys, and to answer everyone online, like you said, I understand, I'll be quick. I understand that Sid asked these guys to come back.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be kind of shitty if you're leaving and then you're like, hey, Tanger, come on, Malkin, come on. By the way, I'm leaving. You guys fucking sit on the dying Penguins. Like, there's a lot of factors here that maybe Sid doesn't want to leave. But my point is, if this team misses the playoffs and then you got to re-sign Gensel, nobody sees the road forward for this Penguins team in the next couple years. How they turn this back around into a super contender in 2 years to accommodate the end of Sid's road. So I think we're all kind of in agreement, like, it's like now or never really for this Penguins core. The part I don't get, and it's the only part I wanted to add, it's not about the class of Sid, class or not class of Sid. It's about the class of the Penguins organization.
Yeah.
I'll pay you a compliment. Like, if I am the Penguins, who I believe is a classy organization, that's the first thing I'd be asking Sid if we miss the playoffs this year. Dude, do you want to go somewhere, or like, you tell me? And if Sid goes, I don't. I'm happy to fucking ride out 90-point years here and just miss the playoffs for the rest of my time. Then, of course, so be it, dude.
Totally.
But, like, please, Sid.
Yeah.
Please let me do you this last favor.
Like I said, it's mutually beneficial. We always forget, or not forget, but you always try to remember to include the elements of, a lot of these people. Sid doesn't, but a lot of these people have families. They have wives and kids in the areas, and they don't want to blow it up and move to, possibly. But yeah, to go back to your point of, he made those guys come back. I think that was more of he looked at ownership and was like, hey,
Bring him back. Yeah.
I'm still cooking. I want my guys here. Because if you remember, Gino was borderline gone. And then Sid was like, get him fucking back here.
Ass back here.
I don't think it was to him. I think it was to I think management was ready to let Gino go.
Remember, ownership and management all changed in the past 2
Yep.
to 3
True.
years.
Totally.
Like, that Fenway Sports Group coming in and buying the team really changes the dynamics and how they give out money and how they give out contracts. But like you said, it sounds like they are still kind of letting Sid kind of run the show and play the cards. So yeah, it would come down to his decision being like, all right, guys, trade me somewhere.
My closing thought, dude, is let's fast forward. We're at the deadline, and they're out of playoffs. It's like it's kind of like the Caps last year, where maybe they're not mathematically eliminated, but logically looking at it, the team and coaching management was like, we're not getting in. If you had a conversation with him, Gino, Tanger, Carlson, and they're like, we're not getting in, and there was an honest look into the future with, can we afford Gensel? With all you guys getting another year older, are we going to come back next season and just have the same problems? And if they were like, yeah, we're done, it would be one of the most unreal things if the Penguins at the deadline moved all 4 of them, or like multiple, 2 contenders, and got in the greatest rebuild haul of all time. I truly, dude, cap-wise, I'm sure some genius could, run the numbers and be like, that could never happen. It could never work. There's not enough possible landing spots who would have whatever. But if it happened, I think that would legitimately be studied as one of the greatest moves of all time.
Yeah.
Like, if you had 4 in their mid-30s legends who are still performing.
I know.
But your team as a whole is like, we're not getting in the playoffs. We are on a downward trajectory moving forward with all older guys who could be a cup-winning piece for multiple teams if you moved all that for picks, prospects, and some players.
It's insane. You make me want to go on be a GM mode right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I
just
literally, Blake, was just thinking, like,
Fire
if you
sale
went
the team.
on, if you even went on NHL right now and you started a season with the Penguins and you traded all 4 of them, I would love to sim and see what that is for like the next season.
Yeah.
You go like this, oh, we have 5 first-round picks next year. Like, you could even package those first-round picks and trade for, like the possibilities are in it. That would restart a rebuild, which Penguins fans, it's coming. There's nothing wrong with that. It's, in fact, it's amazing to say you have 3 cups and you have all these guys. A rebuild is coming.
Yeah.
So again, moving on, but the larger point is, dude, let's change the mindset of like, it's okay. It's okay to wish these guys well. If your team's not doing it for them, getting them in the playoffs, let your legends go and try to get one more.
Yep.
Strap on the buckets. We're going to do one piece of hot ice here, and it is midseason awards. CP, BRMC, and take us away through these midseason awards.
Okay. Do you want to start with the big daddies?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to start with the Hart. MVP. Do you want to go first?
Sure. My 3 finalists for MVP this season are Nate McKinnon, Nikita Kucherov, and Quinn Hughes. I'm a big guy on, I don't think the MVP should go to the guy who leads the league in points every year.
Yep.
I think it's too often that is the number one element that people look at. I don't like it. Sometimes it's undeniable. McDavid last year. Undeniable. I look at what those 3 players are doing, both from a points perspective, but also from a team perspective, and I just think that they are head and shoulders above the rest. It goes to Nate Dogg for me. I think the guy is literally a rabid animal frothing at the mouth, playing the best. I think he's playing the best hockey maybe I've ever seen him play. And I just love what he's done for this Avalanche team. I think we saw the bit of a dip last year without Landy. And I think starting this year without Landy, Nate has really taken the reins as like, okay, I'm the de facto captain right now. And I love everything about it. Nate Dogg's my Hart winner.
My finalists, Nate Dogg. Well, I'll say this. My finalists, Nate Dogg, Kucherov, Matthews, and I'm sticking to my guns. I said this in Nashville. If Matthews scores 70,
how can you deny it?
How could you deny him?
Respect.
I think Kucherov and Nate Dogg are having, and you're right, it's not a points award, but Kucherov and Nate Dogg are having such crazy point years that it'd be hard not to give it to him unless someone does something extra special, which would be Matthews 70. The only wrinkle I'll throw in is, as of right now, McDavid is 20 points behind Kucherov and Nate Dogg. And if they stay nuclear and he's like even a couple points behind them, like if he finishes the year, if those guys get 140 and McDavid has 135 and took the Oilers from last place to first in the Pacific, I think they would literally be like, I mean,
yeah,
like
he's in the conversation. I still wouldn't do it.
He could come from the
I
parking
still wouldn't
lot.
do it, but I hear you.
Okay.
Blake?
I think McDavid. I think he's
There we
coming
go,
in
dude.
hot. I think he like I said earlier when we talked about the Oilers, I don't think they're so point focused, but I just think you can look at that just absolute surge and the hole that they've dug themselves out of. But if I had to pick someone right now today and give out the award, it would be Nate McKinnon.
Yeah.
When I compare Kucherov and McKinnon together, McKinnon just logs those heavier minutes. He plays in all those situations that are more significant to scoring goals. And I just think the leadership that he provides for that team, like if I think of Tampa, their leader, I think it's Hedman. I know Stamkos is the captain, but and like same thing with Colorado. Yeah. I know Landeskog's their captain, but obviously he's been MIA. I think it's got to go to Nate Dogg.
Yeah.
We've
just seen him take his game to another level this year, and yeah.
And great point. McDavid for me would be a prediction. Like same with Matthews, but if I'm handing it out right now, Nate Dogg.
Okay.
Norris.
Okay.
This has to be easy for you.
Oh no, I know who it is. I'm trying to think finalists here. Do you have
Points
yours?
go like this: Quinn, Kale, mini drop off, Dobson, Hedman, Bouchard, Yossi. Canucks are in first. Avs are in second. Islanders fifth. Bolts third. Oilers third. Preds fourth.
Yeah. Okay. Mine are Quinn,
Yep.
Kale, and I feel like I'm swerving Dobson here because God, do I love his game.
I know.
But for similar reasons you both mentioned McDavid, I'm gonna mention Bouchard.
Yep.
The way he's taken over the blue line in Edmonton is
And their
unbelievable.
goals against so
Yeah.
good.
Those three, it's take points aside, it's Quinn Hughes by a fucking landslide. I don't even think this one is close, and that's why I put Quinn in my Hart finalist too. Look at where the Canucks were last year. You slap the C on his chest, you give him the reins of leading this team, and he has led them to the best season they've had in over a fucking decade. It's Quinn Hughes, no question about it. He's elevated his game in every sense.
This is a full team unit, obviously, but goals against in the league of those guys. Oilers 4th best, Canucks 6th, Preds 17th, Avs 19th, Bolts 24th, Islanders 27th.
Yeah.
I know it's not just those guys, but Quinn in a landslide. Kale would be higher if the Avs were getting up a few less goals. And Bouchard, I think, is a great finalist, but Quinn.
Yeah.
Quinn, easy.
Quinn.
I think it's Makar.
Okay.
So, I know they both are just elite scorers. So I think there's a tier.
Canadian bias.
Yeah.
Those two are in their upper tier. That's tier 1.
Yeah.
The other guys, obviously, they're great defensemen. They're going to be candidates or could be candidates.
Yeah.
The awards come between those two.
100%.
And so I look at it. They're both bona fide point producers. They both quarterback that power play better than anyone else in the league. It comes down to, okay, we're grading the best defenseman. Who defends the best out of those two? I look at Makar as the higher level defender than Hughes. Not saying, and I know Hughes used to get a bunch of shit for his defensive game years ago, but he's not a bad defender at all. I just think Makar is a better defender. He's leads. He's got 82 blocks to Quinn's 35, both logging around 24 to 25, 26 minutes a night. And both play in all situations. Like, you could pick anyone out of this. It's a pick 'em.
Yes.
But I look at it, they're both elite scorers. I think one's just a little bit better.
I don't hate the take. Yeah.
No, I don't either. And I agree completely with that. The reason I still go Quinn is because of Quinn's improvement. Like,
Yeah, what a jump. Yep.
There was a lot of holes in Quinn's defensive game last year, and I don't think there are even close to as many this year. So, but fantastic point.
Sweet. Okay, Vezina.
Okay, Vezina, to me, this one breaks my heart a little bit. I think my finalists are Sway, Hellebuck, and Aiden Hill.
Okay.
Hill's lack of games
Just came back, though.
Yep.
Finally.
Hill's lack of games is, unless he goes nuclear in this next stretch, is why I eliminate
Well, he
him.
went big in those 2 games he came back. Like, I think the
Oh my
game
God,
against the
dude.
Islanders at 40 saves.
Dude, it's insane. Like, I was ready because he has the best numbers by far, and I was like, well, now he's back. This is going to jump up.
He has to have a big
He's got
second
better,
half.
dude. Yeah.
Everything in me wants to give it to Sway, and I think Sway could still edge it, but for me, it is Hellebuck right now because of the weight he carries for the Jets team.
Yep.
Yeah, he's
They
so
have super
significant.
comparable numbers. Goals
Yep.
against, save percentage are very similar.
Same right now, exact same save percentage, 924, excuse me. Swayman 2.3 goals against, Helly 2.2. Aiden Hill 936 save percentage, 1.94, only guy under 2.
Yeah.
If he stays that way, Olmark did that last year. If he stays that way, he's getting it. And frankly, if we're handing it out like right now, the games
It's
are hard.
Hellebuck.
Yeah.
It's
But
Hellebuck or Sway.
Hellebuck 35 games, dude. Like Swayman 27 games, nothing to shake a stick
But
at. And I
that's what I'm
want to
saying.
give it to him. But dude, Helly plays every fucking
Yeah,
night.
he
dude.
is
It's
pushing the
insane.
sled so hard on that team, so it's Helly for me.
No Demko love. Pretty good. He's got slightly worse numbers, but
The
Hell of a
other,
record.
the other, and you have it on here on our rundown here, but Joey Decord.
Whew.
Wow.
Oh my God,
Yep.
dude.
He is like, I mean,
Godsend.
it might just be a
Godsend for
hot
Seattle.
streak, might be, like his coming out party, but if he can kind of continue this really elite level of play and maybe Seattle sneaks into the playoffs,
Yeah.
like that guy has got to be a candidate.
in the running.
Yeah.
Those are the 5, in
Yeah.
my opinion, the 5 we just named. Like, no one else is really in it.
Yeah.
Like I think his game and the way he's developed it, and I think I'm a little biased too, because so I went to a goalie camp years ago, and Joey Decord was there as well. I was at like an overnight camp at Merrimack College, and his dad, who is who used to be the director of goaltending development for the Leafs, was the one kind of running it. Super cool camp, and Joey DeCord back then was a nice
Was a
guy.
beast, you knew.
And, oh yeah, he was elite back then too. But people just kind of didn't really see him or didn't really believe in him. He's not the biggest guy, and but yeah, he's been on fire.
Fucking
Oh my
awesome.
gosh. Again, I'll say it again. Godsend for Seattle.
Yep. Okay, Calder. And I want to say up front, I'm fucking devastated about Fantilli's potential injury.
Yeah, we got to keep an eye on Fance. Took a tough injury last night. Hoping for the best.
Yep.
It's Connor Bedard, it's Brock Faber, and it's Fantilli for me are my top three. Although there's a lot of really fun ones in there
for
too.
sure.
I think Luke Hughes is absolutely in this conversation. I think Evangelista is in this conversation. To me, we talked about this a little while ago. Barring Bedard's games missed here, because he's still got several weeks left. That with the jaw, and we'll see how slowly they reincorporate him.
Yeah.
Because you have to be handling him like you handle the cup.
Yeah.
I think it's Brock Faber because of what he's doing as a rookie in such an important defensive role, with guys like Spurgeon missing time, Brodin missing time, the numbers that he's putting up and the minutes that he's eating. He's playing like a 5-year veteran defenseman.
Question, because that I think will officially be my prediction. Just because of the Bedard time, I'm like, I actually think Faber's going to win Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
But if the season ended right now, literally today, boom, season's over, I think you give it to Bedard.
I hear that, but Faber has 5 points less than him as a defenseman.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And he's Bedard's playing a ton of games too, but dude, this is a team that was sucking assholes through a straw.
Yeah.
And fired their coach and are now battling.
Sucking.
Still going to miss playoffs, but they're battling.
Slight improvement.
And he is the best defenseman on the team.
Yep. I don't hate it, and he's my prediction to win it. But I think
I
just
think,
what we saw the kid do.
I think
I'm like
right
Bedard
now
for me, if it
I think
today.
right now I would still give it to him. I think 4 weeks ago I would have given it to Bedard.
Oh no, I think Bedard now has to come back and light it up.
I agree. I think he has to come back and play
But
like
if the
he was
season
fine.
ended right now, season's over.
Bedard or Faber.
Thank you.
Really? Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Bedard for me. Too special. It was sick.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, actually, I'm interested to follow this because I don't know that I guess if he does come back, he will light it up. But I don't think. Yeah. I think you guys would be surprised how willing they are to give this award to Bedard.
Oh, the NHL
I don't
wants
think.
to force.
Yeah, I'm like Bedard is going to win this.
Yeah.
Okay, Jack Adams.
This one might surprise you guys. I don't even want to do my finalists. I think the obvious one is Tocchet.
Yep.
Complete flip. Came into what seemed like a dumpster fire of Vancouver, and now they're in first place, and they're electric. I think with what you were saying about a certain somebody, I think this is Knobloch, and it's not even close.
I don't think so. I don't know. Knobloch, that guy is just writing the numbers on the board and telling the players to get out there.
What pisses me off about that is if it were that easy, why did they start so bad? You fired a coach and you came in, and this team has not lost in over a month.
But I think we've heard the players say the coach wasn't the problem. The problems were within the locker room.
But the coach came in and fixed it.
Yeah.
Look at the other teams who have fired their coach. I mean, Waugh is off to a 1-3 start. Not good. Wild are not doing that great. Edmonton was in dead fucking last place, and they're about to. If they finish, and again, I'm talking trajectory here.
Yeah.
But if Edmonton wins the fucking Pacific or even comes in second, I'm like, dude, that's fucking crazy.
What if they come in second to the Canucks?
I'm being hyperbolic saying it, and it's not close.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck if they come in second to the?
No, I'm saying, would you give it to Talk? That's what I'm asking you.
I think it depends, how close it is. I think it's a serious fucking conversation.
Me too.
I realistically, I think it's between those two. But my shout outs, I think Bonus absolutely deserves some credit here. I think Maurice deserves some credit here. And then last year's winner, Jim Montgomery, having this Bruins team so far ahead in first place after losing Bergeron and Krejci is very impressive.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't think, unfortunately, for a lot of reasons, I don't think they'll finish there anymore. But if the Flyers stayed as a 2 or 3 seed, I think Torts is massively in the conversation.
I think he'd be a finalist.
Me
no
too.
doubt. Yeah.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Okay, great. Okay, Selke.
This one is so tough.
Oh, it's not for me.
Oh, do you want to start then?
Sure. Austin Matthews. Hear me out.
Shut the
Hear me out.
up.
He scored 70
Name
goals.
me a player with 50-plus points this season and 50-plus blocks.
Can't
Can't do it.
I can.
one. There's
Austin
one guy.
Matthews. There's one guy in the league.
Wow,
Can you
dude.
imagine filling the net at a record-setting rate and being defensively responsibly in your own end? Like, he's 53% on the face-off. He logs heavy minutes. He doesn't play a ton of penalty kill, but you know what? I think the door's open right now. I think, Kopi's game has taken a little bit of a step back.
Dude, and I think like a month ago, it would have been Kopi.
Yeah.
Like, Kings are in first. They've given up no goals, and I'm like, Kopi, dude. No brainer.
Burge is now out of the picture. Mark Stone is obviously still a big force in the league, but I think it's time for some new players to get into this mix. And maybe I'm being just a delusional Leafs fan, but my take is Austin Matthews for Selke.
Dude, I fucking love it, bro. Give him the MVP and the Selke. Are you shitting me?
And the Rocket.
And the Rocket. I'm going Sasha Barkov. I think he's been a finalist, and I don't have the advanced stats on him, but I think he's been a finalist. The league loves it, and he's clearly a responsible player, and they have been so good and so good defensively. I forget where they are, but they're really, really tops of the league in goals against. So give me Sasha.
That's my pick too. I liked Kopi for this, but this skid has been
Brutal. Absolutely brutal.
And I do think we need a bit of a mix-up. The Selke feels like it's been a boys' club for the last several years.
Yeah.
And I hate saying that because I think Bergeron has deserved every single one that he's won. I think he and Kopi have genuinely revolutionized the defensive side of the center position over the last 15 years. But it is frustrating that Bergie retires, and it just feels like it was going to be a toss-up between Kopi and Sasha.
Yeah.
But
There were guys that I was interested in that just weren't really
Hischier, dude. I had big eyes.
same.
on Hischier.
Marner even. I was like, oh, yeah, but not really happening. Okay, Rocket,
Yeah, we're done here.
right?
Yeah.
I don't even, and it's kind of close. It's not like it's a blowout right now, but I don't think it's going to be close by the end.
It's Austin.
Austin, and then Art Ross.
Cooch.
Really?
Cooch. I think he lights it up on the power play.
He
man.
does,
Yeah.
dude.
He is a weapon. And
It's
a
it's
force.
absurd.
Yep.
Like,
He's fucking nasty, dude.
yeah, the creativity that he plays with just produces points for everyone around him, not only himself. So that would be my
Nate
take.
Duck's on a 25-game point
I think
streak,
the
dude.
dog days of February and March are going to catch up to Tampa and hurt him, so I'm going Nate Dogg.
The only reason I'm going Nate Dogg too, but the Cooch point I like is they're going to be fighting for it big time.
Yeah.
The rest of the way, like they're really going to need him. Nate Dogg can like take a night off and be in first place, second place. Okay, I'll go Nate.
All right, that wraps up midseason awards.
I got some news for you guys. If you got a blend of fruits and spices, then you got some SoCo. It's the ready for anything whiskey. It's good on its own. It's good in a mixed drink. We got SoCo Black, which is a hint of sweetness. We got the SoCo Original, and you guys know that SoCo Original and Dr. Pepper is the CP special. Cannot miss. Take that one for a spin. Or next time you're out at the bar, try a SoCo Sour Shot, 1 part SoCo, 2 parts sour, and keep the party going. Okay, so for Armchair GM this week, Dan, there's only a few games. It's All-Star break, dude. There's only 6 games left this week, only a couple teams playing.
Yeah.
So we are going to skip our picks. We're not going to pick this week.
We're on an all-star break too.
Yeah, but we are going to get an update from Blake on how we did last week. I was in the lead, as you remember, after my dominant week too, but I am going to say this before he even fucking reads, and I don't know the answers. I don't know the results.
Mm-hmm.
But I was so pissed because you picked Nate Dogg, and I think Moose. You
Yeah,
picked
Moose,
like 2 Avs, and the Avs played 2 games last week. And I'm picking a lot of guys that are playing 4 games, and I was like, what a moron. And then that first Avs game, it was like Nate Dogg and Moose had 4 points, and I
I
was
knew
like,
what I was doing.
fuck me,
They were
dude.
playing a devastated
Yep.
Kings team.
Okay. Hit us.
So, to update the week, we had we had a new record for points in a week. Last week was our record with Matthews with 13. But McKinnon and Kachuk, both on Dan's team, had 12 points each. But Dan picked Philip Hronek with a big fat donut.
Brutal.
0 points. Dan had a total for 36 on the week.
Wow, good one.
CP, it's another solid week. Kind of even around the board. Highest point producer was Pasta with 9 points, 3 goals, 3 assists. Goalie Bob, solid week. He ended with 37 points on the week. So the update on the score is CP with 99 and DP with 95.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tilt.
Yeah.
That's a tilt. Getting into saucy predictions.
Okay, what was yours last week, Dan?
My prediction was Cale Makar would surpass Quinn Hughes in points on the season. They both had great weeks, but Cale only playing 2 games definitely hurt me, and Quinn just being a monster hurt me even worse.
Yep.
So Cale remains 4 points behind, so I am fucked. I got it.
So that's an L for Dan, and he must eat a hot piece of chicken. Now, my prediction was that Sid, who had 3 games last week and was on a 4-game point streak, would be on a 7-game point streak by the time we're recording today, but he had to have one of those be a goal. In his first game of the week, he had a tuck, which I saw, which was huge. His second game, he had an assist. His third game, he had an assist. So, for the first time ever in Saucy Predictions, Sid is on a 7-game point streak with a tuck last week, which means I have won my Saucy Prediction, which means Dan has to eat my piece of chicken. And before you even do, Dan, I will say, dude, his assist in the second game.
Bullshit, dude. The only reason this is happening is because goalie Bob, when they lost in a shootout to the Panthers, Panthers up 2-1. Pittsburgh has the net pulled.
Sid has no points. We're watching the game
Puck
at home.
gets dumped in, rimmed around, and goalie Bob, like an absolute jackass, goes behind his net, gets it, and then tries to dump it himself. Tries to rim it around the boards. It's easily kept in at the blue line, pass in front of the net. Sid gets one over.
But sick pass, though.
Yeah,
sick.
that tying goal
Great
was
pass.
sick.
No look back. He knows Malkin's back
But
there.
goalie
Eyes
Bob
back of his head.
fucked me. Like,
Dude.
Pitt was so lucky to get a point in that game, and you are so lucky.
I was like,
that
I
Sid-
need it in the dying seconds here. I was like, I need a Sid point, but then a goalie Bob win, and I got it all, dude. I got it all.
So here I go. I have to eat 2 of these now.
Oh,
The second one, it compounds. It
man,
compounds.
yeah.
That's
This
like,
is at the start of the day.
yeah. Early
Roller's
record.
you're gonna be buzzing tonight.
Early record today. This is great news for me.
I hate that this has just turned into a weekly occurrence. Fuck me.
Yeah, dude. There
A
it is.
weekly occurrence
Takes 1 second.
of like, oh great, I have to deal with this once a week. Also, I don't have water,
I got a little bit.
and I'm usually a bitch boy, and I need a ton of water.
I did get some feedback on this segment. People have been thinking it's quite funny and quite
great.
hilarious to laugh at
Lick your fingers, dude.
demise.
Lick your
No.
fucking fingers.
Don't touch
Don't touch anything.
You told me not to touch anything. Okay, so what are we doing with predictions?
Okay, so this week, since it's only a couple games, Monday, Preds at Senators. Tuesday, Jackets at Blues, Kraken at Sharks. Wednesday, Sens at Red Wings, Kings at Preds, Sharks at Ducks. Blake, write this down. Our saucy predictions this week are going to be, we just have to pick the winner of those games. If you get money line winners. If you get 5 or more, your saucy prediction was correct. If you get 4 or less, you're eating a wing. I'll go first to let that just linger on Dan. Okay, Blake, ready? Give me Predators beating the Sens. Give me Blues beating the Blue Jackets. Kraken beating the Sharks. Give me Senators beating the Red Wings. Give me Kings beating the Predators. And give me Ducks beating the Sharks.
Fuck, this is a bad one.
2, dude. The 2 banger. Look at his eyes, dude.
Oh my god.
This is a bad one.
2 in a row is bad.
I oversauced him.
2 in a row is bad.
All right, I'm gonna go.
God, it's so nice to give the prediction so calmly.
Jesus Christ. I'm going Preds over Sens. Blues over Jackets. I just need to equalize.
Breathe in. That helps. Yeah.
Kraken over Sharks. Preds over Kings. Detroit over Sens. Sharks over Ducks.
Oh, I was going to say all favorites, dude. Okay.
Actually,
No, dude, no.
That's it.
Sorry, you said Sharks over.
I'm
Ducks?
literally crying.
Yeah, Sharks over Ducks is the last one.
I'm literally crying.
Yeah. Tears pouring down his face. God forbid I ever have to do 2 of those, dude. I can barely do the fucking
I can't
one.
believe how much worse 2 is.
Christ.
So I mean, it's been going around the internet a little bit. Have either of you watched the Sydney Sweeney?
Yeah.
Is it worth viewing?
Dude, actually, thank you for bringing this up. Let me take this opportunity to use my platform. That was fucking faked. Dude, she is like literally, she's like, oh, it's fine. These only taste good. There's no, I was so scared of the show. They get to fucking 8. Anyone who watches that show knows 8's the hottest one. They get to 8 and she eats 8. And eventually, like the after effects of 8, she's like, oh shit, this is pretty hot. And like, that's where the memes are coming from. But she eats da bomb and she goes like this, what? I don't get it. And I'm like, okay, the integrity of the show is
No,
ruined.
she's then crying.
Yeah, eventually she's like, oh, it hits her like late, like DeBomb does. But dude, every single person who's ever touched DeBomb to their mouth, including us right now, it's fucking right there. Touch that to your mouth, and you're like, oh my god, dude. There's no like, oh, this one's not that bad, and then it hits you. They faked it for her. This is bullshit.
There's a pretty brutal cut in it too, because she's like really struggling.
Yeah.
And then when they go to 9, he's like, you ready to go? And she's like, yep, here we go. So they clearly like took a long break for her to.
Integrity, dude. Integrity.
Also,
they faked it for Sydney Sweeney.
I think that's my favorite show.
Yeah, it's
like
fucking great.
It's certainly my favorite chat show. Dude, I'm fucking struggling. Not a good episode. She was not entertaining.
Hot, spicy take.
Yeah. Okay. Those are our lineups of predictions. I'm dying.
Yeah, we gotta get you out of here.
Pumped up for All-Star. Gonna be an unbelievable time. We're doing so much fun stuff on the Instagram. Follow along, as always. Interact with us. If you're in Toronto, come find us. Let's have a fucking blast.
We're getting some wings together.
Cut my own head off. And until then,
skate hard.